Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a
Hello,
made-up word.
Muppets, puppets, people.
Hello.
Muppets. Hello, Governor.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to what we are praying is the last installment of the Avengers. Not because we don't enjoy each other's company, but we just want to make it through phase one. We really do. And I'm pretty sure you all listening want us to make it through too.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, just for us to shut the hell up.
Move on to Doctor Who or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm tired, boss.
So, hey, boss. So, welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we are two 30 to 40-something-year-olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle, and you guys might know us from the Twitches as Guyver and K-Sig. And with us is Mr. B-Rob. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to finish up this movie and hopefully stop annoying all your listeners.
Oh, you've actually been getting good feedback. Way better than that other guy on the Nerky.
Yeah, that other
way
guy.
better. That what's his name? Justin.
Justine?
He's much more handsome though, and he's got better hair.
Well,
he does
he has
have
better hair than
yeah.
all of us.
Mm-hmm.
He has that perma soft hair.
Yeah. Really,
I'm
I'm actually
pretty-
jealous. I can say that because he's not on this one.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that that's Gorilla Glue.
Probably. Like, it's probably not even
That's
his
why-
real hair.
No, it's
It's just-
not. He goes to local barber shops and just kind of they see him crawling around on his belly and
Mm-hmm.
grabbing it all. So, where we left off was hour and 11 minutes into the film, right when we see Hawkeye taking aim at the helicarrier. And Banner is saying, what did I say? He said, I'm always angry.
Mm-hmm. Did he say that? I thought he said that later in the show.
No.
Or a movie.
Yeah, he said, yeah, he didn't say it in that part.
No, that's not till like way.
Yeah, it's the end,
All right.
or
So
not the end, but
this is the part where Banner's talking about how he tried to kill himself.
right.
So, how did you guys feel about this part? Because we always know Hulk has always been a tragic character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just remember feeling like just sad at this part because it's like, oh, he just doesn't want to be in this world anymore.
That one was. I don't know. Some may say that it's like it wasn't needed or if it was too far because I mean it touches on like he tried to kill himself, blunt right there, and I'm glad they put that in. Just because it lets you relate to the Banner side and the human side more so because Hulk's such a big character physically and in every way that the human side of him, the Banner side, the original side can get overshadowed really easy. And this, lets you know that he's got a struggle that may be harder than arguably anybody else on the Avengers because he, as far as he knows, he can't die. Like he's pretty well immortal, and him having to deal with the physical and the mental strain of hulking out and hulking back in is taking its toll on him. So, and I think it makes you appreciate the character a lot more.
Yeah, I think they're all fighting these inner battles, but his is more extreme, and he's definitely at odds with himself. And I think
Literally.
like you said, I think they really did a good job putting this in there because it really it humanized them. And Ruffalo does such a good job at this part But as the movie progresses, and then as the other movies come into play, it's just that progression where he comes to terms, and, and by end game, he's at terms with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's at peace with what he is and what he can do. But throughout this whole thing, we see different struggles, and I think it's just a really good aspect of the character that, like I said, Mark Ruffalo did an amazing job at.
He really did, and his is the only character that we can that his inner turmoil is a physical manifestation of it. Manifestation. I'm tired.
There it is.
I'm tired. Leave me alone. It's been a long week. I think we just all talked about this. We've all had long weeks. So forgive us. We will entertain you. What I found really interesting is, they're all, if they have a gun, they're reaching for their gun at this point. And they're looking at Hulk. And then they said, Dr. Banner, put down the staff. And he didn't even realize he grabbed the staff, and the staff is glowing. So that tells you Loki's got a little hand in something here.
And I love his line where he says, "You're not going to get to see my little party trick after all."
Yes. I really like that one too. And then, Cap and Iron Man are still fighting. And I do love the part where Hawkeye literally shoots the arrow into the wind and it arcs backwards and goes exactly where he wants it. Like, that was sweet.
Yeah, that's why I
he
like
blows up the engine. Yeah, go ahead.
That's why I like him and Natasha, because they're human. Like, their extra abilities are their own extra abilities. It's not superpowers and things. Like, the more I go back and rewatch these, the more I like Hawkeye, like more and more and more. Some of the stuff is over the top, and it has to be, and it should be, because of the type of movies that they are. But I like him the more I go back and rewatch these, more than I did the first couple of runs.
I concur, sir.
Yep.
Next thing you know, this is the big scene. We'll kind of speed this up a little bit, but basically they're invading the carrier. Loki's forces. It's not basically, they are invading the carrier, and Cap, instead of asking putting a statement on, like a challenging statement, put on the suit, he looks at Tony and says, "Put on the suit." Like a, please put on the suit.
You're gonna put on the suit, please?
Please.
Yeah, they're
and then everyone's,
the bravado kind of it stopped right then. That's kind of where the bullshit stopped, and it's like, all right, we really we've got bigger problems to take care of. Let's put all our stuff aside, and I like that. And they do that several times throughout the course of the series. Of they're going to butt heads, and like, oh, okay, well, we got stuff to take care of, so we'll take care of this later.
I agree. It was awesome. And then next thing we know, we're down in, I'm assuming, like a sub basement or some sort of storage area.
The spaceship has a basement? It's really bottom heavy.
The Alamo's got a basement? That's where Pee-wee's bike is.
I was thinking of the boiler room in the
oh yeah.
Forgot the name of the ship. But anyway.
The one with the thing and the engines. The thing,
and there was mutinies in space and boiler rooms and
with Calgon, who takes me away.
We needed more of him.
So we have the Widow is trapped under this giant pipe, I guess you could say, some sort of duct. Her foot's there, and then Banner is down on the ground. Just, you think he's hurt at first, but then all of a sudden you see the look of panic on Widow's face. Just utter terror at this point. And she's saying, we're going to be okay. Listen to me. I will get you out of here. I swear on my life. Some guys run up, she waves them off. And then I love this part because, he's still kind of banging on the floor. And he turns real quick and looks at her and says, "Your life just," this monstrous voice at this point, and half his face is starting to turn green. And out pops the Hulk. We get to our first official look at Avengers Hulk.
Mhm.
And
the Ruccolo,
I will tell you
if
during
you
this
will.
part here,
Or Ruccolo.
the Ruccolo. I like that. What I liked about this is you can tell how far the CG came since the Incredible Hulk.
He's a good looking Hulk.
Just
Yeah.
He is a good looking. He's a handsome green man.
He is.
So it was just a really fun scene of Hulk doing what he does best, and that's just demolishing everything in sight, going after Widow. So I just remember just kind of on the edge of my chair in the theater watching this, because it was just starting to suck you in at this point. Like first the tension between the team, and now all of a sudden there's actually fighting.
Right.
Like
So
how
This is really
sits
one of the first scenes where she shows a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true, isn't it? Like, it's not the fake emotion. It's the one where she was genuinely scared.
Yeah. And
What are you saying, Kyle?
Next, we get to see, like, this is the first time where we see Hulk, and he, later on, he has some more focus and control, but he's just right now just batshit wild, going after whatever's in front of him. And I like how you also see that progression as it goes through of him slowly having a little bit more control and more control over what he's doing when he is in Hulk form.
So next thing we know, he's chasing Natalie around. Nat around down there. And then we get a look at Iron Man and Captain America outside. Tony's getting a good look at the engine to see what has to be done. And you see the schematic pop up. I really, really love how they do the inside the helmet with all the overlays. I just think it's really cool. I've always liked that. I've always thought that, I wouldn't have thought to do that from inside the helmet. It's like a third person, but it's a first person.
I like how you get
so he's looking at that
the comparison here between him and Cap. And we have the high tech, new school, and then just Cap. He's barking out orders to Cap to, what do you see? Tell me what it is. And Cap's what, like less than a year out of coming out of the freezer, and so he's looking at the box, and he's like, it seems to run on some sort of electricity. It's like he's still trying to be helpful, but he's like, this is the best I can do.
I mean, it's it's a lot of blinky lights. It's a lot of blinky lights. So we know that's a little bit more than electricity.
Yeah.
Odds are it's like fiber or something, just Tony, Stark tech. Next thing you know, we're back in the Space Mutiny dungeon. Boiler room,
just waiting for somebody to scream.
And the Widow is you got me on that one. The Widow's down there, trying to hide, and then all of a sudden you see, what'd you call him?
Ruccolo.
The Rulk.
The Rulk.
The Ruccolo. He pops up, just kind of, roars at her, and then just starts demolishing anything in his path. I mean, there's no stopping him. There is no stopping him. And I think B-Rob called it. He hits the Widow. She goes flying. He goes up against the side, and he's getting ready to, I think, deal the killing blow. And all of a sudden, this flying object just hits him, and you see Hulk rolling on the ground, and then there's Thor. And then again, where B-Rob called it is just the pure look of relief and terror on the widow's face at that part.
Yeah, she
Just
had
because
a
she
flash
knew
of her
she-
own mortality. She had always all of her situations. Just from knowing about her and seeing the little bits that we've seen in these movies leading up, she's even when she doesn't appear to be in control, she's always in control of her situations that she's involved in. And I think this is the first time we see her, one of the few times we see her where she like has no control about what's happening. She can't affect the outcome at all. She can just run, and she's on pure instinct. And so that loss of control for her is has to be tough. That's where I think it's where you get the panic and all. Like you actually get to see some real emotion out of her.
Yeah, and I think that's why when I think about this movie, that scene ranks so high up there for me because it's our first glimpse of the Hulk, like you said, in his true, monstrous form, losing his shit, and then we see some humanity in Natasha, and that she's scared shitless.
Yeah,
which is just great because she's the ultimate spy.
Right.
She doesn't show emotion unless she wants you to think she's showing emotion.
Yeah, she wasn't
Right,
hiding there.
when you think about it, you can't. I don't know if I can really think of a scene where like Fury showed emotion.
Mm-mm. I mean, he got. You think he got mad, but it's just Samuel L. Jackson's normal talking voice.
Yeah,
right.
For you and I, it would be screaming.
Yeah. Well, and I guess I think about not angry as much as like I can't think of him being panicked.
Mm-mm.
Really,
Even
like she is. Like you see Hill get like that, and you see Barton, you see Natasha, but I don't know if I can remember any scene in any of the movies where I really felt like Nick looked panicked, even when he's lying on his deathbed, essentially.
Yeah,
he'll be urgent.
Winter Soldier.
But I don't think panic ever comes over him. I mean, he'll impart a great sense of urgency on those around him, but I don't recall him being panicked through any of it.
I like how you put that because he imparts it around them, but it's like he basically tells them, "Motherfucker, you're gonna do this."
Right.
So he didn't
and that's
really
kind
give
of why
choice.
And that's the thing. Like when I think about like the comics, kind of, I feel like it's very different. But that is how Samuel L. Jackson's Fury leads by example, by always keeping it together, by always pushing, by giving those nudges in different ways, by knowing how to motivate, and not maybe the scare tactics. And it's just a very different way than I remember the comic Nick Fury in a lot of cases. His motivation techniques.
Well, and the comic Nick Fury didn't show himself a lot to non-combatants. So even to combatants, he was always behind the scenes. Not so much in the later years, but towards the beginning. So I love this next scene where, Thor's slowly getting up and he just, Hulk's roaring at him. Thor's just cool as can be at this point, just holds his hand out and you knew what was coming. Just holding it out. And all of a sudden, what flies into his hand, Kyle?
We'll get, it takes a second, but he does get Mew Mew back. And I like that they built up for it. It wasn't the instant snap. It's like, is it going to come? Is it not going to come? But he didn't panic, so I didn't panic as much. But their fight scene in this hangar was great. Showing that you see angry Hulk after he throws Mjolnir at him and he can't pick it up, and he's digging in. These are the two. These are your two strong men. This is your two guys.
Two strongest on the team. It's your heavy hitters.
Yeah, it's your Smash Squad. The two guys from Mighty Ducks, the ones that always send in direct stuff. That's who
the Bash Brothers.
Bash Brothers. There we go. I was trying to get there.
Fulton
I couldn't think of it.
And
who was
Fulton
the
Reed,
other one?
and I can't think of the other guy's name. Dean Portman. Got it.
There you go.
It is.
I was drawing a blank.
Yeah.
Kudos to
Nerd.
B-Rob. I forgot
Still
about
trapped.
that. Well, I remember.
Useless knowledge.
Yeah, you are. But all I could remember was Fulton because Fulton was also in Daredevil. So
yeah, I brought that up for a reason.
yeah, non-canon
Stuff.
Foggy.
But yeah. Does that mean Nick Fury is Emilio Estevez in this version and he's really like bring the ducks? Anyway, on to
the Emilio Estevez.
Quack.
No, he's Joe. Quack. Quack. No, he's Joe Estevez.
Ah.
Future War. So, or what's that? Soul Taker. It was Soul Taker, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'm glad we go to the bridge. You get to see Fury in action because you get to see that he's not like he did a little bit leading up to this, but he finally gets to kick some ass, and he kicks ass well. And so that lets you know that he's not just all talk because he could probably get by with a lot with just talking.
He's not just a pretty face.
He's not just a pretty face. He's not. And I liked his little ass kicking scene there because they gave a little bit more credence to his character. That he can back it up.
Well, Colton was just kind of walking like nothing was happening either.
Oh, he's like super calm. He talked about Fury being calm.
I think he was probably the calmest out of everyone on that ship at that point.
Yeah, it's another day at the office.
Yeah, like literally put his finger on the fingerprint reader, got his, his retina scanned, and then we see more of the fight scene, and then a Harrier shows up, and Hulk is Thor is losing at this point, in my opinion. He's actually losing because the angrier Hulk gets, the stronger he gets, and frankly, he was getting super pissed.
Yeah.
So the Harrier's firing, 2,000 rounds a second at him, hitting him. So Hulk goes and runs out and just jumps onto the jet and starts just demolishing it. It's not a Harrier. It looks like a Raptor more.
It's doing
rips the wings off. Rips everything off.
Launches the poor pilot that he was probably just some contract guy. Well, he was, they were controlled by Loki, so he didn't even really, know what's going on. So you imagine
that one wasn't.
That one wasn't. Was that not?
Hill gave him the order to shoot at Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You think they hired a contractor to fly the Raptor?
Baby, well, I got him crossed up. I thought he was one of Loki's guys.
He was on his 90-day probation period.
Still, yeah.
He was contract to hire.
He was 1 day away.
1 day away.
1 day away. And look what happened.
Imagine if that was his first, if he was somebody that was just new to S.H.I.E.L.D., they bring him on, okay, and then oh, well, we got all these suits now, and they go up in the air, and oh, we need you to go fly the jet. This is a really weird first day at work. Oh, there's a giant green guy. We're going to need you to go shoot him. It's what have I signed up for? So maybe he was.
he goes, I don't even have my benefits yet. I don't have dental.
I'm still on probationary period.
That's what he's screaming is the parachute goes, I don't even have dental yet.
Especially when Hulk catches him midair and starts just tossing him around.
You think he shows back up at work the next day, or he goes looking for another job? He's enough of that.
Oh, I bet he didn't even go back to the office.
I turned in an application Starbucks or somewhere.
I hope he wore his brown pants that day.
Mm-hmm. Bring me my brown pants.
Oh, woman, where is my super suit?
After that scene when the explosion happened midair and you just see Hulk launched, the thing was, I freaking love that. Just his fly. That's one that surely it was. I hope it was meant to be funny because I laugh at it every time to see him go flying. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Surely it must have been.
I question a lot of the things I laugh at in these movies and things I hope that was supposed to be funny. I'm usually watching them by myself, and if there's nobody else, I'm the only one laughing because I'm the only one there, and so I don't know if anybody else is laughing at the things I'm laughing at. Sometimes I find out later that they don't, and I shouldn't have laughed at it, and I feel bad. But I'm glad that you guys laughed at that one also.
So the best is B-Rob just cracking up at you watching the movies by yourself laughing. It's stuff that probably shouldn't be laughed at.
Yeah,
Boys and girls,
that
what
part's
was
not
Kyle's
funny,
last?
B-Rob.
What was Kyle's last favorite comedy? Oh, I believe it was Saw.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, way up
Oh,
there.
did you watch it? It was so
really
funny.
I laughed so hard. Yeah, that Jigsaw, I tell you.
Oh, Jigsaw.
He's one with the jokes.
He's one with the jokes.
Mm-hmm. It's real slapstick humor in the Saw movies.
Yeah. Kyle calls Jigsaw Slappy, just so you guys know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
next, I'm laughing at watching movies by myself.
I'm not. That was the best.
That's sad. Yeah.
No, I just go back to like our last episode where you were talking about, the Terminator's pose naked, grabbing the shaft, that stuff. That's what I think about when you're watching movies by yourself.
You're not wrong.
He's striking the Terminator pose while he's doing it.
Yeah, that's one advantage to watching him alone. Then you can act the stuff out like that, and nobody's there to judge you or bring it up.
Kyle gets done, and he's doing the Iron Man pose, the landing.
Mm-hmm. You guys are missing
I'm
out.
having too much fun with this.
By having friends and watching movies with people.
Go on. I can't breathe.
I don't even know what's happening in the movie now.
I don't know either, but this would be the best Marvel movie ever.
So we're at the part. Hulk throws the pilot after he ejects.
Oh yeah,
and then Hulk just kind of takes off falling, just groaning.
Tony's trying to push start the Harrier jet. Yeah, I kept
breaks the wreckage free, right?
Yeah, it gets free, and he's in the turbine. He's trying to push. I kept waiting for him to like yell at somebody, just pop the clutch, pop the clutch.
So you think someone yelled for him to drift?
Yeah. Oh, I gotta recover.
So he's getting it. He's getting the turbine going, pushing it, and Cap's getting attacked at this point by the Shield agents, and he's shooting.
Yeah, I thought it was weird to see at this point. I thought it was always strange that when Cap picks up the machine gun. I guess that was like a really unexpected thing for me at that point.
Well, because we've never seen Cap with one of the big weapons. It's always shield or like the handgun.
I think he carried one during his World War II stuff, like some. I remember him using like Hydra weapons during some of the fight scenes on the Hydra agents. I thought there was one scene when they were like, it was during the montage, one of the montage parts where it was showing all the cool stuff he was doing, like when he was actually going into battle. And I thought he was leading a charge, firing a weapon at one time. Like, it's brief, but I may be wrong. I'll have to go back and look at that again. But
I don't remember. I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
Oh my god, I remember the pistol when he beat up Hydra agents and grabbed like the Hydra gun.
Yeah,
the shield.
He just doesn't do it often.
In that montage where he like opens the hatch and he grabs the bag of grenades and throws it in.
Yeah.
I don't remember a machine gun.
We get a.
I don't either.
So did we already see where? Oh yeah, we get a good Hawkeye, Black Widow finally meeting back up and a good non-soup fight scene. I want to harp on those a lot. I like the non-soup fight scenes.
Well, they're unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
In a movie full of soups, you just don't expect these. I had lower expectations of them because they weren't soups. Be completely honest. And then I was just blown away with how good, like you guys were saying, how good they actually were. Mm-hmm. Like, it shows you that Natasha and like Clint, they're Olympic class athletes. And, just trained to kill they're elite agents.
Yeah.
So and you forget that just watching this.
And she honestly might have like the best overall like win-loss record when it comes to fights. I can really only think of one where I felt like she got her butt handed to her.
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Well, I was thinking of really Civil War when Ant-Man,
Yeah.
when
he flips her, but then even then I think she shocks him and sends him off. So I think she ends up winning that one.
Yeah. And she didn't actually engage
So
Hulk in this fight, so you can't count that one. It was more of an exhibition match anyway.
So technically she hasn't lost.
Right.
Good point.
Fair point, sir. I didn't even think about that. So something to think about there, listeners. Hulk, with next thing we know, or not Hulk, Thor is running to the detention center where Loki is. Sees Loki standing in the, with the open container. And so Hulk, why do I keep calling Hulk? Thor goes, face first after him. And it's an illusion. And scene.
Mm-hmm. Thor has his moments of not very smartness. Like
Thor, he's not the brightest hero.
He's really not. I mean, he's really not. He has his times, but yeah, that was not one of his better moments.
No, and then Nat is still fighting Clint at this point. Like I said, it's just a really, really good fight scene between the two of them. Just back and forth because they know each other so well, so they can read each other's moves.
Yeah.
And I love this part because this shows you how well they made this prison cell for Hulk.
Yeah.
When Thor hits it with Meow Meow, and it cracks it. And not even a big crack. Just the point of impact. It's like a laptop screen when you stab it with a pencil.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was. Just like
How do you
very
know,
precise and not big.
How many laptop screens have you stabbed with a pencil?
None, but I work for a school district.
Oh, okay. Well, then that makes sense then.
I have seen more interesting things happen to those screens than I care to admit. So,
okay.
And it happens.
You get a pass on that one. That makes more sense. I forgot about that. That makes more sense then.
It happens. And the best is when the kids lie to you and tell them, I don't know how that happened. And, they're holding the pencil or the pencil has their name on it.
That'd been funny if like Fury walked in and Thor standing there by the cracked screen, like, what happened to my cage? Well,
he points at Loki.
Right.
It was the god of trickery.
Yeah. I don't know. It was like that when I came in here.
They both point at Coulson. Poor
This is wrong.
So, Loki, this is one of my favorite parts right here of the whole movie because Loki's just cracking up and says, the humans think us immortal. Should we test that? Because we think they are immortal. All throughout Thor, we didn't think, that they had, we knew that their lifespan was just way longer than a human, but we weren't sure by how long and if they could even die by conventional means. And Loki is saying, yes, we can at this point.
Oh,
Coulson shows up.
And the part that I don't like to get to.
Well, why don't you describe it? Or why don't you go through this since you don't like it?
You're going to make me...
Okay, well, or B-Rob can do it because B-Rob can do it impartially.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so Coulson walks up and he's got a fancy new toy. And as he's talking to Loki, he's like, this is we did this after the destroyer came up. I don't even know what it does. And he points it, pulls the trigger as it starts to fire up. Then all of a sudden, the end of the spear comes through his chest and Thor loses it inside the cage or inside the container.
It's a cage.
Yeah. And Coulson falls to the ground. blood comes out of his mouth, so you know it's a serious thing. And that's just really, and that one got me too. I mean, that one was one of those things I was really surprised.
Yeah,
Well,
it
you
was
didn't
so
think-
quick
Yeah.
when it happened.
When you didn't think that they would kill off a character who's been around since the first movie.
Yeah.
So
I hate
I
that
guess
they
I
did,
just
and I'm
always
glad that they
thought-
did.
Yeah.
You know, I would have loved to have seen him throughout the whole, just through the run, and see everything happen, because I liked him. I
Coulson's a great character.
really, really, really liked him, but we see that they needed this little kick in the ass to get going. But
Yeah, and I never thought, because he has all these pieces and all these movies and all these connections. I thought he was just going to end up being something bigger, and I honestly felt like he was going to take on some mantle at some point. I
Like
didn't know.
Like be the liaison for the Avengers or something.
Well, and I mean, I didn't know. You know how they at this point in time, we didn't know how good these were going to be, and
yeah,
I didn't know if they were going to go, a DC route or some weird way where all of a sudden this guy's Ant-Man, or this guy. I mean, he takes on different mantles, or and he becomes somebody he shouldn't have been, but because they set him up like that. So I didn't know, and I guess that's why I thought he was going to be bigger and last longer, and I still had hope with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything. He was going to come back, and everybody was going to be like, "You're alive," It's so, but I agree, it needed to be done. It was perfectly done.
So Coulson's, hurt badly. Loki walks over to the control panel, hits it, floor opens up, and then hits the button. Hit the button, Frank. And Thor's cage, his container, just plummets down, and you see it in free fall. From what they say is 18,000 feet at that point, something like that.
Yep.
And Hawkeye and the Widow are still fighting at this point. So that's how while all this is going on, they're still fighting. And to me, they were pretty evenly matched.
It was a great fight.
And then it was a great fight.
Yeah, it was. It was one of the best one-on-one fight scenes, I think, throughout any of the phases.
Well, and then you see, Clint starting to overpower her at one point. Hawkeye is, and he's got the knife, and it's almost there. And this is one of my favorite scenes, because it shows Widow will do whatever it takes to get out of a situation, or to use a situation to her advantage. She bit him, much like Agatha or Agnes once bit a child. Widow can say she bit a hawk.
She did.
I mean, I know most of your fights have occurred in the Pokemon arena or a Street Fighter video game, but there is no fair fighting. You win or you lose.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, you may have an undefeated record in the Pokemon arena. I'm just saying, that's very admirable.
Hey, I won the Sinnoh League. Thank you, sir. I caught them all. And
yeah, I mean, I've definitely got my butt kicked before, but I've also bit or grabbed something.
Yeah.
To even it up a little bit. So
hopefully it wasn't the same thing at the same time.
I won the fight.
Doesn't really matter. Grab it.
Yeah, no, not at all.
A little twist.
Not at all. Not at all. See, while B-Rob's fighting, there's Kyle and I are off at the side drinking a beer, going, "Yeah, fucking kick him, yeah."
Freak Week 2000.
Those are stories for another time, sir.
Yeah. I just remember egging that one on. I actually think I think I might have been over on you guys' side at that time. Garden night. I can't remember. Just hanging out. That's what I get. See, that's the thing, boys and girls. It doesn't matter what group you're with or anything. If you share common interest and you're cool, you're gonna go hang out with who you want to hang out with, and that's the beauty of being a nerd and just being who you are. You can cross the line and well, not like cross the line, but you know what I mean. Cross the aisle, go to the other side, and go hang out with whoever you want. That's another reason we kind of do this show, is to open your eyes and say, you know, like B-Rob, you know, B-Rob plays sports. He's into sports. Not necessarily Kyle and I's thing, but we love him. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. And he can teach us stuff like how we're not athletic and how we can't fight and how we wouldn't survive in the wild.
Why are you looping?
He tells us all this stuff.
How you think everybody's huge.
How I think again,
why am I
Kyle and I are both under 5'10". Well, I am 5'10", but you know, everyone is, you know, 6 feet and over. They are huge to us, sir.
I wish you guys could teach me to grow facial hair. You know, it comes in all splotchy.
Still am not.
This is still better than mine.
This is 4 months and it's splotchy and it looks like I just went to like literally just started throwing hair or grass clippings on my face.
I need to get a marker.
Let's start a fun for get B-Rob a Sharpie.
My wilderness survival skills are being questioned. And
oh, you're great on video games.
I do outdoor stuff too. I've played sports in the past, just not anymore. Everything hurts to do anything anymore. I roll my ankle getting out of bed now, but I've done things. I just don't do things anymore.
We've all done things in our former lives.
Mm-hmm. Yes. When he says he did sports, he did win awards. Like he won a Spanky. I mean, that works.
I'll bust out my one trophy sometime and show you.
It's a participation trophy. Mm-hmm. So she bites him. And like B-Rob saying, you'll do whatever you can to win the fight. But what I loved about this, then she just did that backflip over his arm that was being held, and it was super low. Like, just, again, Olympic class athlete. And then that he hits his head and he kind of wakes him up and he goes, Natasha, and then she punches him in the face.
She's not taking the chance.
No, as well she shouldn't. There's a reason she's lived so long. Because in the spy world, you know, they always say in the movies, spies don't typically live to a ripe old age.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think we talk about it later, but choreography wise, and just I think that is maybe the best fight one-on-one of the entire deal.
Yeah.
Maybe later on Killmonger and Black Panthers, but
which is probably the best fight scene in the whole universe.
I think that goes to it being a believable fight, because that's in this universe to normal people, right. You know, born normal people, we'll put it that way. That I think that's what makes those fight scenes that much better. There's no CGI. There's there's some camera tricks and stuff that go into play there, but there's nothing that you wouldn't be able to, like, if you were there on set watching it happen, that's, you know, that's 90% of how it would look. So
I agree. So from there, we move on to Thor is still in free fall. He's trying to get out. He's having a hard time. He positions himself at the back of the cage container and launches himself at the last possible second and goes through that crack that he already made. And so he escapes. So we know from Loki that would have killed him. So just thought it was a great way to show how, you know, Thor's a survivor. He really is. Next thing we see is Loki gloating over Coulson, and Coulson just telling him, you're going to lose. You know, even when he's mortally stabbed, Coulson's just cool as can be. Voice isn't raised. He just says, you're going to lose. And he's sitting there on the ground, bleeding out, can't move. His hand is, if you look at it, it's limp. Like he can't even lift it up right now. And he's like, you know, how am I going to lose? You know, your floating fortress is going to fall from the sky. How I'm at this disadvantage. And I love this part because he's, where's my disadvantage? And Coulson just tells him, you lack conviction. And Loki tries to get something out, and all of a sudden the gun goes off that Coulson had. And Loki just cries and just gets shot through the wall, and he's just laying there. And Coulson,
You think
again,
that's true though, that he didn't have conviction? Because that line just kind of fell flat with me when I think about how, to this point, Loki has been the most like his comic book person. Very sadistic, very do whatever it takes to get what he wants. Doesn't care who he hurts. There's very little remorse.
And that's his conviction.
Yeah. I mean, that
I
line kind of fell flat because I feel like he had conviction to enslave the earth. I mean, I feel like he was fully motivated.
So I've never really thought of it before, but now that you mention it, bring it up. Yeah, I would agree with you because I think Loki probably had the most conviction out of anyone. Like what he desired was to rule.
To get out of his brother's shadow.
Yeah. And
of course, like the first 5 times watching it, that doesn't resonate or anything, but it's just as the years have gone on, and now this is probably
now that you
the
think
50th
about it,
time I've watched this, and I'm reading this line as I have it paused. So
no, I would agree with you, Kyle. I mean, would you say the same thing?
Yeah. The only thing I could think of maybe is he does seem very like convinced, like this is what he needs to do. And I don't know if it's because, I don't see Coulson like knowing this, but if it's him doing it because he feels like he needs to, or if he thinks that he should be the true ruler. And I think there's the two sides of it there where maybe if he was fully convicted, it was him thinking like, yeah, I am supposed to lead and rule over these people, as opposed to where he is right now in his head of he's got a chip on his shoulder and he's wanting to wanting to rule is to I think part of it in his head is to show Thor and the rest of Asgard that I'm not just some, bastard stepchild. Like he has something to prove. So, but yeah, I think he probably does have up to this point the most conviction out of anybody because, he's pretty set on that goal of taking everything over.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say any more than that because you guys just, I think, hit it on the head there.
If somebody disagrees on Discord, I would love to have this discussion.
Yeah.
Like I said, just reading it, I would love to hear why you think he lacks it.
This would be
the only one. It would be the only one I could think of that might disagree with you would probably be Justin. Just
Which would
because
shock no one.
Yeah, not a shock to anyone. Not because I necessarily think that he believes it, but I think it's because he likes to discuss.
Yeah.
Like he likes both sides of the coin. Or he just might be completely wrong and not agree with the consensus, the Illuminati here, the Illuminati.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think it's all about how you interpret it. For sure.
Like I said, I've never thought of it. Like I've watched this movie a million times and never thought a lick about that line. But when you brought it up, now I'm thinking more about it. I'm like, yeah. I mean, you're right.
It didn't fall flat at the time, like I said, but now, as I rewatched it a couple times before this episode and I have it on pause, I kind of was thinking about it. And so.
Good point, sir. All right. So we're going to kind of speed up a little bit here because if not, we're not going to make it through this.
Yeah, we've covered about 17 minutes in an hour.
This is what we do, though. So next thing you know, the helicarrier is falling and you see Tony going just fast as can be inside that turbine, saying, Cap, hit the lever, hit the lever, hit the lever.
I
And
need
you
a
see-
minute.
Yeah. And you see, because that's what he said, didn't it? You see the armor's integrity just start going down. And all of a sudden the turbine's going faster than Tony can fly, and he gets caught in it. And he's like, like when you're vacuuming and one of your kids' like toys is under it, and if you have the bagless vacuum, it hits it, and all of a sudden you see it just spinning around in that stupid bagless vacuum container.
He's a Lego.
That's what it looks like. He's a Lego. Or for me, it's a princess shoe for a Barbie or whatnot.
Things are dangerous.
They are. Like vacuuming with little kids is like, I imagine a lot like looking for landmines.
Mhm.
Not to take away from anyone.
No.
So Cap hits the lever. Tony goes out. That was just a great scene just because I thought it was funny as hell at the end there. And next thing you know, Fury finds Coulson. And Coulson tells him, I got rabbited. And Fury knows how bad it is just by looking at it.
Yeah.
Fury's been around long enough. And Coulson, Fury's like, eyes on me, and Coulson's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm clocking out.
Mm-hmm. You do see
And
some
he's
emotion
not
out of Fury here, but as much emotion as you're going to get out of him when he realizes this. But yeah, this scene hits hard.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was an ironic line too, where he said "eyes on me" when he's looking at him with one eye.
Right.
Well,
I didn't even think about that.
I think if he would have said "eye on me," I don't think
I don't think Clark
Gregg could have kept a straight face
no
long enough to be able to do this scene.
Eye on me.
All eye on me.
Fury's rap album.
Yeah.
And he tells him, I think you're right. This was never going to work if they didn't have something to bring them together.
See, I think that, and again, I think this is a line that the more that I listen and watching stuff that. So did he strategically place himself in all these places and build all these relationships to be able to say this here? Like that was not knowing he was going to have to sacrifice himself by any means.
Right. But just to get to this point where they're at right now.
Right. I mean, it's just the way he says it. He's so sure of himself, almost, cocky that his death is going to bring them together.
Well, and so this line to me made it seem like he and Fury had this great plan, that they needed a catalyst to jumpstart this team. They needed something to bring them together, like Apocalypse, for the X-Men, or Magneto, or, just some big threat. Homelander for the boys.
Oh, so you think he was more referring to Loki and his overall evil plan than the team using Coulson's death at the hands of Loki to motivate him?
So I kind of think it was Loki initially, but then I think once this happened, I want to say that he and Fury had this whole Loki thing under one umbrella because they needed a common enemy, like a great threat, especially after the Destroyer episode. But then after this happened, he's like, Coulson's like, I'm the reason that they're going to come together now. That's what I kind of think.
I kind of took it as him saying his death, and I didn't take it as him being cocky. I took it more as like he knew he had a connection with all of them because he was personable with all of them. He had he connected with each of them on some level. And so they may have had a few other, but he was their common denominator, at least as far as personnel. I think he was liked more by the team than Fury was. I mean, I think they liked Coulson better. He was relatable. And they needed a loss. And I think it could have been, I mean, it could have been just about, anybody else that they were fairly close with, but he was right. They needed a catalyst. And I don't think he was like looking, I may have misunderstood you, but I don't think he was like looking to be the catalyst, but he felt like he connected with them enough that, hopefully that they would.
No, and I think cocky was the wrong word. I think I just felt like it came off that a little bit at some point to me, because he's using him. I mean, he's acting like he's the martyr that's going to push this.
Well, I
But
can see it.
the other
exactly
part
what
of
you're
this
saying.
is, as he's saying it, he's also easing Fury's concerns. So as he's doing, so I think as I'm talking it out, I see both ways. But so I think it's just a good talking point. But
I
I
can
think it's one of those things. He's like he's making Fury be okay with his death and to not think it's on his hands.
Yeah, I could see that him telling that to Fury to ease Fury because of how Fury thinks. He's always needing, he's very tactical about everything. Everything is about the mission and like the greater good, because he does defy orders and stuff, quite often as we go through. But it was more, I could see that to ease Fury a lot more, because then that would make this make sense to him as it's a necessary thing to happen. As unfortunate as it was, there's a push behind it, or there's going to be a positive reaction from it. Like they're going to be sad, they're going to be upset over it, but now he's got them pulled together, and that's what Fury ultimately needed. And so I could see that. I could buy into that.
Well,
yeah, and it's definitely one of those things that sets it up, because as you see, as it progresses from there, Fury says Coulson's down, they've called it, and then you just start seeing, reactions. Hill's getting attention, and she pushes the medic off. Romanoff's just standing there somber. Tony's here, and then Cap's up here in the background, and they're both just head down. I mean, it's a very moving moment to really push those words and everything he said even more.
Mm-hmm.
And then it fast forwards to them being in almost on the bridge, I guess, or in a conference room, and
right.
Fury's talking to him.
Well, and I think you're right. I think it is a great talking point. I think it's a great talking point, and just getting people thinking about if there was a deeper meaning or not behind this death.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, we're back on the bridge, and Tony's looking off on the distance. Cap's just staring straight ahead. And
Fury just starts to come clean.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He said, "This is in Phil Coulson's jacket," and he said, "I guess he never did get you to sign them, and it's the Captain America cards."
Yeah.
And here's another Easter egg. That card that Cap picks up was actually the photo card from Captain America, when he was taking the picture with the opportunity. So that's pulled from Captain America, the First Avenger.
Oh, okay.
So there's an Easter egg for you. And the cards were all bloody. This is important to note. We'll come up to that here in a sec. So they said they pulled it from Coulson's jacket. And so Fury's, like you said, Fury's coming clean. I mean, what did you guys think about this part? Like, because he's talking about the Avengers initiative, and he tells what the purpose was of it. Do you think Fury was actually coming clean, or do you think this is part of Fury being Fury, manipulating people?
Obviously, there was some manipulation in this.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the realest he's been with the team, up to this point. He knows. I mean, he's led troops, and he's led teams, and he's led, groups like this. Like he knows how to read people, whether they're, superheroes or not. All the Avengers have this human element to him, and he knows what buttons to push to get the results that he desires. I mean, that's why he's in the position that he's in. That's one of his skills. So I think he did. I think there was a lot of fury manipulation here, but not necessarily in a bad way. Like, what's going to come is going to come. He just has to get those thoughts in their heads and get them together and use what Coulson said. They needed a catalyst, and he's going to let he's not going to let that go to waste. He's not going to let Coulson's death just be for naught, and use that to the advantage to advance the directive.
Yeah, and I agree. And I've had a lot of time to think about this scene, and there's going to be some sports references, so get Wikipedia up or whatever you need to do.
Yeah, Chris.
The Googles.
I like how Kyle says that. You can hear his keyboard clicking right now.
But I feel like this is Fury's Phil Jackson moment. This is his. He's got
not as much
Shaq
as
and Kobe. Yeah, touche. He's got Shaq and Kobe sitting at the stable, and he's got to get him to buy into the triangle offense. And then he goes through coming clean. He's telling him, hey, we were going to build weapons off this technology. And he, lays some other stuff out there. And then talks about the Avengers initiative. And then in a moment, like, I feel like I've obviously never sat in a Phil Jackson huddle or anything. I've heard a lot of his speeches and all that stuff. But then he says that Phil Coulson died still believing in this idea that it could work. So I feel like there was always just, no matter what the message was with like a Phil Jackson kind of thing, because I've read a lot of his stuff, books and everything, he says a moment, something like that, to bring everybody together, to bring this clarity and to give that motivation and almost this, if you don't do this, you should feel like shit because this person believes in it. And with the triangle offense, Phil Jackson was Tex Winters, who was a very, very highly respected assistant coach. So it's kind of that thing here. I feel like that, you don't believe in the Avengers initiative. You're not going to put the effort in it. You should feel like shit because Phil died for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's Fury, the eternal manipulator.
Yeah.
Like he's good. I would say he's not Loki level, but he's up there.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's Loki level, just he does it in a different way.
Sneakier.
And with better intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He doesn't really care how he doesn't always, he may not always care, but he believes in the greater good. I think he's one of those guys. He doesn't care. You're going to lose some soldiers to win a war. And that's his mentality.
A means to the end. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. I like that. Next thing you know, Thor is walking through a field. Yes, a pretty field of flowers.
Mm-hmm. And his hair looks so great.
It does, for after just falling like 20,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's a Pantene moment.
And then rolling on the ground. It is a Pantene moment. And, he goes to pick up Meow Meow, but he doesn't. Like, it makes you wonder, does he think he's unworthy again? That's kind of what I got out of that scene.
He's doubting himself.
Yeah.
Definitely doubting himself.
Well, okay. Was he going to pick it up and briefly couldn't, or was he second guessing if he should pick it back up?
I think he was going to. He was trying to call out to it so, he wouldn't have to bend over because his back probably hurt from all that tumbling he did.
Carrying the team the whole way.
Well, yeah, and he didn't stretch before.
Yeah.
So.
And I kind of wondered, since we never saw his face when, like, he knows Coulson's dead, and you just see that he reaches for it, and then he does that, and his hand kind of shakes. Is that his frustration from knowing Coulson probably just died?
I don't know, because
did he know though?
Thor's power,
because he was.
He saw him get stabbed in the. No, but he knew he saw him get stabbed in the chest.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
There's not much coming back from that normally.
No. Okay.
Did you ask if he saw it on LinkedIn?
No, if he had, because some of them were running earpieces. So if he was linked into the,
he doesn't pay for premium.
If he was, he did. I'm like, wait. Did you ask if he was on LinkedIn?
I wonder what his bio would look like. Like,
There better be a Point Break reference. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Oversaw small team with negotiations on. Yeah.
Next thing you know, we hear this. You fell out of the sky, and we see a naked Banner laying in a pile of rubble.
A nude fellow. Nude fellow.
A nude fellow. Nude fellow. Got B-Rob on that one. He got a nude fellow. He got an eye full of nude fellow.
That was good, Kyle. You're on point, man.
I'm feeling good.
I thought you saved all those for like your nerkies and stuff. Now I'm starting to get them. I'm loving it.
Yeah, they're there.
That was good.
Good job, Kyle.
Yeah, because there was one I was driving down the road and listening to that nerky, and I literally spit my water out because it was.
Which one
I can't
was
remember
it?
what you. It was a couple episodes. It was the episode before the finale, and I don't remember because I was driving back from. It was when I was driving back from Dallas.
Oh, gotcha.
And I can't remember what you said, but you were just on. I remember making comments about it that you were just on point with all your little puns and your little.
I don't remember what I said in the first half of this episode, so I have.
Right.
That's true.
I think it may have been like and it wasn't even. Oh, maybe not that. It was when you referenced like a fish called Wanda.
Oh.
And it wasn't that it was like just hysterically funny. I just found it very, very funny.
That was the which episode was that? That was one of the last. That was the last of the sitcom episodes that had all the running. That was the Office and Modern Family episode. I was like, oh, there's a fish bowl with
I
Wanda
remember
on
spitting water all over my windshield.
Why don't you two go get a room?
I love you, B-Rob.
Love you too, buddy.
Little buddy.
Little fella.
I didn't even say little. I said
it was an implied little. It was in the tone.
You people.
It was implied. So we see the nude fellow laying on the ground, and the security guard's talking to him. And he immediately said, "Did I hurt anyone?" He said, "There's no one around here. You're not. You didn't hurt, but you scared some pigeons."
That security guard's been in a lot of stuff too, and it's bugging me.
I will tell you what. I will tell you why this is funny here in a sec.
Okay.
If you haven't figured it out, he's telling me you were big, green and buck ass naked, and he's like, "Here, throw some pants." And he said, "Didn't think these would fit you until you're a regular size fella."
A regular size fella.
And then he said, "Are you an alien?" And we get a good look at the guard for the first time. Why this is funny. He was the guy, and I can't remember if it was Alien or Aliens. I think it was Aliens. Might have been Alien. That first encountered the xenomorph.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even going to pretend like I remember that.
I remember him from the movie now. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I didn't know that he was the first. I remember
it. I remember
he was the first one.
The scene,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember the dude's face.
Yeah, so it's this guy. He was the first. He asked, nude fellow, "Are you an alien?" And ironically, he was the first one to encounter an alien.
Nice.
Can't remember if it was Alien or Aliens. I think it might have been Alien.
Would have had to been Alien, right? Aliens.
I think so. I think you're right. But yeah, so he was the first. So that's why this is funny. And then, he's like, from outer space, an alien. And they're just going on. And then he said, "Well, then, son, you got a condition." And I love that line. Again, Marvel, I think, not intending to be funny, but they were funny.
Oh, I think they knew it was funny. Like just the.
You think so?
The deadpan delivery stuff, and I think the way they do it, they know how to make it funny without hitting you in the face with it.
Right.
Like, hey, look at this. This is funny. Like, they know. Like, this is funny. They're gonna get this.
So next thing you know, we see Hawkeye in this very surreal looking camera angle.
Mhm.
It was very reminiscent of Train Spotting for me, watching that for the first time,
Yeah.
because it was, just the surreal environment, and you could tell he's going through withdrawals. That's what
Mhm.
they were going for. So
Was it
for
heroin
me,
in
that hit
movie?
Train Spotting. Was it heroin? Yeah, I think it was heroin.
It was heroin. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that there wasn't a dead baby on the ceiling crawling on this one.
As we all should be.
Well, that just freaked me out first time I watched that.
I've never seen that movie. That's one of those I always say.
You
Like,
never seen Train Spotting?
It's one of those I've always said, like, I'm gonna get around
It's a
to
really
watching
good
it.
movie.
Yeah.
And
With Spud. Like,
Yeah.
I believe that was Ewan McGregor's first movie too, wasn't it? That I can think of, at least.
Yeah. I'm
But,
not sure.
you
It
know,
was
I-
early on if it wasn't his first.
my
With Spud.
backlog of stuff that I always say I'm gonna watch, and then I never end up finishing it.
So you have to be with Train Spotting, you have to be in the right frame of mind. You can't just watch it just like, oh, I want to watch Train Spotting.
Do I have to be on heroin to watch it? Is that? I can
Yeah.
probably find a guy. Like, not too far.
He'll probably be driving by your house later
Probably. Well, he probably rides a bicycle. He probably doesn't drive. But
with a little horn
yeah.
and a little lion megaphone.
Come get your heron.
La 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 la. So
Huey Herman's your drug dealer. Is that what you
yeah.
Where's Cherry at?
What does Zombie grant you?
Oh, that's going to send us down a
Is it,
rabbit hole.
Is it Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah,
that's the cowboy?
that's
Cowboy
the
Curtis. Yep. Lawrence
rabbit hole I
Fishburne.
was trying to avoid.
No, and Cowboy Curtis comes and offers you two different pills.
You must decide.
Yeah.
Be super
was it?
confusing if he had an eye patch as he's doing that.
The crossover you never knew you wanted.
They call him Morpheus Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis as Morpheus as Nick Fury.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I know you are, but what am I, motherfucker? So then we get
God.
we get a very humanizing scene here between Natalia and Clint. And he sure got over his withdrawals extremely fast at this point. I always thought so. This scene always kind of bugged me in that aspect, but I thought it was a good scene otherwise, just because of the dialogue between the two.
Yeah, you see him because you see the professor snap out later in the movie, and he comes out of it fairly quick when he's on the rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he hits his head or something. I can't remember, but kind of the same thing. He's kind of groggy for a little bit, but then when he snaps out, he snaps out.
I didn't think about that. It is really quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we didn't see Eric go through withdrawals.
Mm-mm.
Or maybe
No.
he did. We just didn't see it.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, we see Tony standing there with Steve, who is, if you look at his costume, he's cosplaying as the Homelander from The Boys.
I need to watch that. I keep hearing you talk about it. I keep seeing adverts for it over and over and over
Are you
again.
shitting me right
I'm
now?
serious.
You keep talking, my
Yeah.
headset cut out.
Oh God!
I'm scared to start
You've gotta
another
watch
thing.
that.
I've got like 4 things going, and if I start another thing, then it's going to take me longer to finish the other things. But whether is it second season?
Second season's done. Yeah, third season.
Third season. Are you talking about The Boys?
Yeah,
Third season is in production right now.
Okay, I got no kids next week. Maybe I can plow through that.
you got some time.
Yeah, make sure you don't have kids around.
So I've heard.
For sure.
So I need to get you those omnibuses too, because we're going to dig deep into The Boys on some episodes, but it is the most messed up comic I have ever read.
For sure.
So you read them, B-Rob?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went back and read them.
So you're familiar with Jack from Jupiter then, and Herogasm, because they did announce Herogasm is season 3,
which I find weird because it should have already happened.
Yep. And we never met Lovesage either.
Right.
That's the story for another time.
Yep.
Right. 47 minutes.
47.
So they're talking, and I've lost my train of thought. What part are we on right now?
Basically, Tony's just saying that Loki, like, why this was all planned out. Loki wanted an audience. He's practicing for the big reveal. And then that's basically the short of what he's telling Cap. And then you cut and you see Selvig on the roof, and Cap's like, "We got to go." Like, Cap in action time. So this is when like you see you get the suit up montage and Tony fixing stuff. So this they didn't really give a whole lot of lull in the excitement, which I'm thankful for. This was an action-packed movie from beginning to end. Your little lulls were just enough to set up the next thing. So you get to see the team actually finally starting to assemble. They're loading up. It's Cap's ready to go kick ass.
Right.
But he would probably say, "Let's go kick butt" at this point.
So
because
what I did like
would be
this
the Cap thing to say.
Right. Kick gluteus.
Mm-hmm.
I did like this. What I did like, one thing that stood out to me about this part always was Cap saying, telling Tony, "Is this your first time losing a soldier?" And Tony saying, "We aren't soldiers. I'm not, I'm not dying for Fury." And Cap telling him, "I'm not either. Let's go get this guy," like Kyle was saying. And you can just see the pain on Tony's face at this point. There's a crack in his armor right now, if you will.
Right.
So
then comes the big aha moment when he's talking about the power source, and he wants this big monument with his name plastered all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Son of a bitch."
Mm-hmm.
And then there
I love how fast he switches from just.
I mean, he just described himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, we did get the reveal that the cards weren't in Coulson's jacket too, and at that. Well, did he ever actually? Well, it was just like right after that. Because I thought
that was
that's
Maria.
I think that's as they're flying away.
Yeah, because that was Maria telling Fury.
Yeah.
So this is the part where Cap interrupts, goes in for Natalia, and he's like, "Can you fly one of the jets? We're gonna go get him." And then Clint comes out of the bathroom and says, "I can, Cap." So now we're seeing the team forming at this point, actually forming. Thor finally picks up suit up, picks up his hammer. We see, what do we see next? Cap grab his shield. We see
Tony's powering up.
We see, what I thought was cool was we saw the Widow stingers.
Mm-hmm.
She put on the gloves and just.
Is it sting or bite? Because I always hear you say sting.
I thought it was sting, or maybe I'm thinking of the spider sting from Spider-Woman.
I'm thinking it's bite, but this is one I'd bet you a cold beverage on.
Let's look.
On it.
You guys get.
You guys keep going. I'm going to figure out which one of y'all's wrong.
Okay.
So they load up. They go to Cap and Hawkeye and Black Widow get on the Quinjet, and there's a guy on there and tries to stop and say, "Hey, you guys aren't authorized." And Cap's just like, "Don't." And then you see him jet off, and then that's where we get the part about the cards, as Hill and Fury watch him take off. And then we get to the roof and Selvig. Tony's coming in. Kind of almost says it's too late as he's encountering. Then he starts talking to Selvig and tells him to shut it down. He can't. And that's a really weird scene for me. And that, he keeps referring to her she wants to show us something. She wants to show us more of the universe. Tony tries to take it down. It's unbreachable.
So do you think on that part when he's saying she wants to show us, do you think that's just because he is, what is he, Swedish? Norwegian?
Swedish.
Do you think that it's just like a slip of the tongue filming this? Or do you think he was talking about Lady Death?
I don't think it was a slip of the tongue, and I don't think it was death necessarily. I don't know, but he says she multiple times, so it's got to mean something. I just have no idea what it is.
And just how he's just referring to it like, you would like a car or something. You get a vehicle that you're fond of, like she's a good girl. You
Right.
pat the dashboard.
I don't remember any of the other stones being referred to as a he or a she.
Real quick, who had bite and who had sting?
I had bite.
Sting.
B-Rob's right.
Oh, so I must have been thinking of like Spider Woman. Like she had the sting, didn't she? Spider.
Keep making shit up. It'll be okay.
You know what, sir?
Now there is a new run of Black Widow comics that started last year. And
the Spider Sting.
Issue number 1 of Black Widow 2020. Black Widow Sting is the name of the run of those comics. But I highly doubt that's what you meant.
That's not referring to the weapon, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No, B-Rob was totally right on this, and Chris was wrong.
Right.
Yeah. What else is new? What else is new? I was wrong for 9 episodes, so why not get another one wrong?
Her gadget could have
right
been Mephisto.
Yeah.
But
well,
and it was Terrigen missed.
Terrigen.
I meant to pull that on the Discord. I never did.
You should have.
I think you guys called it everything else under the sun.
Well, yeah, probably. Tarragon.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. It was just really flavorful
Terrigen.
mist.
It wasn't. Okay.
But so he realizes it's unbreachable. He looks down on the roof, and Loki's there. Tony kind of realizes he's got to buy some time, and then here comes just a really classic scene. And I know this is one of your good favorite parts, Chris, is when they start taking the gear off. I know I mentioned that in one of the other episodes, how cool you thought that was.
Yeah.
And, they're just they're walking around this outdoor patio to go into the same room, and Loki's honestly like, please tell me you've come to appeal to my humanity or surrender. And Tony's being a smart ass now, and asks him if he wants a drink, and Loki, stalling's not going to help you. Well, I need a drink, Tony says. And then Loki goes into his battle plan about the Chitauri coming. Nothing can stop them. I don't have anything to fear. And then that's when Tony says, the Avengers.
Yeah, us.
That's what we call ourselves. We're sort of like a team.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I love that. We're sort of like a team.
The Reese says we have an army. And Tony's like, we have a Hulk. Was it this scene? Right. Yeah, it was this scene.
He's like, let's do a head count here. Yeah. Your brother, the demigod. The super soldier. Can't remember what else. The man with breathtaking anger management issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A couple master assassins, and you, big fella, have pissed them all off. So it's just one of those things where he is stalling, waiting for the Mach 7 to get ready. But there's your line. I have an army. We have a Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then he taps him with the spear in the middle of the chest.
Right in the right spot.
Yeah, and then he's like, "This usually works." And then, performance issues. It's not uncommon. That's just there's Tony telling a god he has performance issues.
Yeah, and what's this line he says? If we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it. That was a good line.
It was a good line. And then Loki picks him up one hand, throws him out, and then all of a sudden, here comes the armor lining up with the watch that he just put on, or the Disney Fast Pass.
It can unlock your room.
It can unlock your room. And he was able to cut to the front of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Charge
the
that
ability for
$17
memories.
cola.
Yes. Oh, Disney. So expensive.
My Boba
It's so
Fett
much
one's in
fun.
the other room.
Do you have that still?
Yeah, they work multiple times.
Do they
Yeah, I
really?
think I've used that one like 3 times. Yeah. You just it's all attached to your account. So as long as you have that band, it'll when you purchase a ticket and add it to your account, it goes on your band.
I'm gonna have to get one, like, because last time.
Yeah,
we
and from
went
now
to
on, they're
Disney-
not complimentary anymore, so you have to buy them.
Oh, really?
If you want, yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's the band itself. Yeah, they're not giving them for free anymore.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing away with a bunch of shit, man. The Magic Express, the Magic Hours, they're changing a lot of stuff up in the next year.
Because of COVID?
I think I think it's to recover a little bit, but I think they're using it kind of as an excuse almost in some areas.
Just to up the price and stuff?
Yeah, and just, reduce some costs on their side too.
Which is a shame, because that was the best. I love Disney.
Right now, there's no point. I didn't feel like there was a point in going to stay on like Disney property because they didn't have the dining plans. There's no fast passes. So that's why we stayed at Universal this last time, because I didn't see a huge benefit.
Sure. And
we still went to Epcot, but I mean,
it just wasn't the same.
we just didn't need all the bells and whistles because they weren't there anyway. So we
Right.
didn't have the kids, so we didn't ride any rides. We were just there to eat and drink and look at art. So
Well, you guys are
Which
cool.
is
I haven't
still-
been
was
in
still a lot of
32
fun.
years, so I think I was 6, so 7, somewhere in there.
It makes you feel better. The last time we went,
you still can't ride the
2
rides,
years
right?
ago-
No,
no,
no.
you can't.
Like, it's going to be
You
the
must
exact
be
same
this
experience if
tall.
I go now. Like, I can ride. I can do all the same stuff I could do then. I'm just save money and
Somebody
stay
run up
home.
to you and say, "Were you saying it's a small world after all?"
The cast members came and got him and go, get back out there.
You're out of costume, sir.
We're back on. We're back on track.
Stupid watch looking like a fast pass.
Yes. But I love Disney. So the gateway opens. The Tesseract opens the gateway. And then all of a sudden we see the army see it. The Chitauri army see it. And what I love is it was all black. Then all of a sudden you see it just come into focus with the purple lights.
Mhm.
And they just start going through the breach.
Yep.
And thus begins the invasion of New York.
Yep.
And Tony, like without skipping a beat, just flies off to meet him.
Very Michael Bay-esque sequence.
Right.
Yeah, actually, I never thought of that. It is, isn't
Just-
it? Just
It
it's
felt very
loud, big,
Transformers.
lots and lots of explosions.
Explosions, and more explosions. I love
Yeah.
the explosions. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll take the cheap thrills that way, which they're not cheap. It's awesome CGI, but I like to see
Right.
shit blow up.
Yeah, I felt like this was Transformers. I feel like Megatron could have showed up at any time. I mean, that's really what I felt like during this whole scene.
Just because the amount of explosions and action going on.
Yeah,
I could see
so like
that.
you said, Michael Bay.
I can completely see that. I've never thought of that.
But
But yeah.
also, imagine like maybe Will Smith flying in like in a fighter jet to go attack the aliens, Independence Day-esque, or a drunk Randy Quaid to show up in a spray plane to fight against him.
I'm back.
So, yeah. So if you all didn't catch, we could try and break this down scene by scene, but I don't think we could. This part, the initial attack,
Oh,
where-
Jesus.
like lefty's flying over here, then you got righty, then you got down the middle-y guy,
Mhm.
and then you got the guy on top. there's no way. I mean, it's literally, they said it's a Michael Bay scene.
Yeah.
Just a lot of explosions.
Not a lot of character development in this sequence. A lot of ass kicking.
Hey, 25 bonus points to tell me who the waitress is.
It was Chrissy from Growing Pains.
Nice.
Did
Perfect.
you redeem
Nice
yourself
work.
on his widow gaff earlier?
He's plus 10 now.
Okay, you're ahead.
Ah,
Hold on, I gotta keep up with this.
I always thought he was more of a who's the boss kind of guy, not Growing Pains. So
I know all those shows, unfortunately. I had a very lonely childhood, so TV was my friend. I'm just kidding. I wasn't lonely, but I did like watching stuff. So we get through there again. We see the explosion. You guys continue. Hold on. I think my daughter didn't charge my headphones when she had her art lesson. So let me plug it in.
Yeah. We get to see the is there an official name for the giant flying mecha monster thing? Did we ever hear that?
not that I know of. No, I don't think so. I mean, I know we've called them different things, but
I think my little guy called it the flying monster machine. So that's why we'll go with that.
all right, we'll go with that.
He told me
His name is in it.
he said that's what they're called. So we'll do that. But yeah, giant doom-bringing monster attacking New York, which we have never seen before in film ever. Much like that, like they brought something new there. But yeah, it's a long drawn out fight scene. We do get a little bit with Thor and Loki. You see Thor still has hope that Loki's going to come to reason, and he has hope for he gives him way more benefit of the doubt than I think he ever should have given him. But that's
Right.
it's just a good show of how much Thor loves his brother. Like he does not want to believe that he is just inherently bad and evil, and still sticks with that through the whole run through phase 3. I think that he wants his brother to be good again, or not to be good again, just to be not so evil, I guess. We get more of the explosions, but we get some good Hawkeye stuff with the bow and arrow. I like the scene when Cap does not confront, but he comes face to face with the cops, and he's telling like, we need a perimeter on 39th Street, get those people out of the buildings, we need to do this, and like, well, why should we listen to you? And that's some more of that Marvel humor that Chris talks about. Cap kicks some ass, they immediately fall in line and they want to go with it. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here. And we have Ruffalo show up on a bike that looks very similar to the bikes that Cap rode in his movie. It's a very old motorcycle. And I don't think we saw that anywhere earlier in the movie that I can remember. So I'm trying to figure out, like, where did he get the motorcycle? But that's
the janitor.
He's
From the janitor.
Oh.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's just logical.
I mean, didn't the janitor say he had something too? No, maybe he didn't.
Pants. He told him he had pants for him.
Right.
But
He's got pants for him.
I don't remember, but that's a World War II era bike that I can't come up with a good Ruffalo pun for him showing up now. I think I'm spent.
And Kyle's spent. You all heard it.
Yeah. All my puns. I'm pun dry. But this is the point where he says the line that you were talking about earlier, because he tells him, it's time to suit up, time to get angry. And this is when Banner says, "Well, that's my secret. I'm always angry," and Hulk's out just in time to, face punch the giant flying
Mega Beast.
Mecha Beast, whatever it is. I want to know if these things have a name.
That's another good thing, though. There's a line right before that where Tony says, tell him to suit up. I'm bringing the party to you." And they come around the corner and the Mecha Beast is following Tony, and ScarJo's like, "I don't see how that's a party."
Everybody gets their one-liner in it. I think everybody has a
Right.
one-liner through this. And then we're on to, another big ass kicking fighting scene.
This is my son's favorite part. Like you said, when I'm always angry.
Mhm.
But
and the first time we actually see them this is the first time they assembled.
right.
You get the cool little fly around shot. Looking back at it now,
That was really cool.
It's kind of cheesy, but it's cheesy in a good way. Because you see everybody doing their thing. You see Hawkeye getting his, knocking an arrow, and you see Black Widow, racking around under a pistol, and Hulk hulking out, and everybody's doing their character's thing as they do the fly around. And I'm not saying cheesy is bad, because I love that too, because that's the moment right there, and they have to do it with a little bit of flair and flourish. They have to have a little bit of flourish there.
Well, and if you think about it, like all the other team ups, they all have a scene similar to that. It may not be the spin around,
Mhm.
but whether it's Civil War when one team's walking up and here comes the other, or Infinity War when Thor, Groot, and Rocket all show up. There's every time there's a team up there's a scene like that.
Yeah.
But that was the very first one. You're absolutely right, and it really just set the tone for all the future ones, because it was awesome.
And you see that Banner's got some more Hulk control now. I think this is because he purposefully hulked out, where before it was.
Yeah, I think he's come to terms with it, or he's starting to come to terms with it.
Yeah.
And that's where you see the team, as they're doing that, he makes some comment about, or maybe it's Scarlet or Natasha says, "I've seen worse," or something like that, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." He's like, "No, we could use a little worse." So he's getting these affirmations from his teammates that it's okay to be him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I think he starts coming to terms with all of it.
Yeah, I think it was too. Like he changed on his own terms this time. Like he wanted to Hulk out. Where we saw early in the movie, it was like a surprise hulkening. So, I think that combination, like it's okay to be green, because it's not always easy being green.
It's not always easy being green.
No.
Are you going to break out in the Rainbow Connection now?
I'm going to do it. Not going to do it. Not in my contract.
Only if Iz shows up.
Let's see where we're at. So we got more gigantic fighting, and Fury finally sees, or we see what, Fury's up to. And I'm just amazed. Still, again, like I'm going to keep harping on it with Hawkeye and the bow and arrow, and him kind of being cocky with the no look shots. And I love a bow and arrow. I love a bow and arrow in movies and in video games, and it's just, I like it. If I can play a game, I get an option to like, okay, you can use this sniper rifle, or you can go with a bow and arrow. Like, give me the damn bow and arrow, because it's just freaking cool. So there's me more fanboying on Hawkeye some more.
Well, it's cool how they portrayed him. Again, I know we discussed this before, but I can't tell you anyone who tells me when you think of Avengers, the first person they mention is Hawkeye.
Right.
And I remember you saying that, so I think I'm maybe subconsciously trying to make it a point to like him more and to find more reasons to like him, because he's
a great character.
When you focus on him, he's awesome. When
Right.
there's so much going on, but if you like take a minute and just watch what's going on with him, he's an awesome character.
I'm really
So-
anxious for the TV show.
Hawkeye
Yeah,
with Kate.
yeah, because it's gonna be the last we see of Jeremy Renner. So
Did his contract end or did it end after this?
I think it ends after this. I think it's just. I think they're all starting to get done. You know, they're all going to cease to be a part of the main universe as you start bringing in new people. Because I mean, they're going to be pretty soon. It's just going to be. I mean, it's going to be Tom Holland and Captain Marvel. I mean, it's just going to be that next phase.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think you'll still see cameos here and there as long as they're like
Right.
characters are still alive.
I hope so.
But
Because I really don't see how you can. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not even gonna say that.
They're getting some age on them too, and that's another thing.
Right.
There gets to be there's a point where they reach where, like they can still act, they can still do all that, but is it believable? I think of it a lot like when you see like when you saw Ric Flair come back for the 80th time when he was in his late 60s or whatever. Like, how much can you still buy into it? Or Indiana Jones and the Temple of the last Indiana Jones movie, that was tough to watch, and I love Indiana Jones, absolutely love Indiana Jones, but that one was so hard for me to watch because he's old. And
yeah, no, I'm with you, but there is something to say about when you see like a 62-year-old like Ric Flair take a back body drop, just like a 28-year-old Ric Flair, just get way the hell up there and perfectly land. I mean, but yes, I agree. It starts becoming very unbelievable that you think, 62-year-old Ric Flair can fight a 32-year-old Randy Orton and win.
I can suspend a lot of disbelief, but everybody's got their limit,
right?
And there's some of these guys are starting to show their age now because they've been going forever. That there becomes a point where it becomes a lot less believable, and it's just you have to let the new blood come in and keep the franchise going. Which I would hate.
And that's why
to try
I'm
to fill
anxious
those
to
shoes.
see how they do Thor: Love and the next Thor, when Love and Thunder, when Jane becomes Thor.
Mm-hmm.
So really anxious to see how that one goes.
She's getting buff. And like she's getting pretty yoked up.
It's a
I know, but still, she's
story too.
She's the same age as all these people we're talking about.
Yeah, Natalie's our age.
Yeah, she's y'all's age. You guys' age. Not my age.
Well, you look older because of your beard.
I believe it was our first episode that B-Rob did say that you're one gray hair away from Gandalf.
That's my cat's name too. That's cool. Thanks for bringing that up.
But
your cat's name is one gray hair away from Gandalf?
Yeah, it's really hard to, like, when I go to the vet, it takes a lot longer than it should because they have to go through all that and I have to spell it all out. And like, you just don't want to call him Gandalf? Like, no, I'm one gray hair away from Gandalf. It's his full.
But it does play well to your outdoor skills because you look like a mountain man.
Thank you.
So even if I know you have them, even if I didn't think you had them, I still would probably believe it because of your beard.
That's 50% of it. Just making sure somebody else believes it. You get the bluff in.
Right.
It is. Yeah, that's what I think too. Not very Unabomber-ish. What part are we on?
Where are we at again?
Lots of explosions, Hulks.
What movie are we watching?
Flying around with a giant space
that boat
mecha
sank,
worm.
right?
No,
the Titanic sank, right? That's what we're watching?
Yeah, he's kidding, Kyle. I think you genuinely confused him.
I did. Well, I only heard, I'm like half deaf anyway, so I only pick up like here and there and a little bit. And I was like, is this where, like, I don't know, Cap tells Tony to paint him like one of his French girls? Is that scene?
Call me Babette. Okay, so we're already past where Hulk turns into Hulk, right?
Yeah, we're past that. There's lots of smashing and fighting, explosions.
Hulk smash.
Black Widow hijacks one of the speedsters, which I'm going to...
Thor electrifies the building.
Yeah, I'm back on that again. That scene was, again, really impressive because she's a normie. Falling from that's going to kill her. Iron Man fell
Oh my
from.
God, Kyle, you can't just ask someone why they're normies.
Yeah, she is one.
Oh, okay.
She's not a soup. And so, yeah, that.
Good thing the HR director is not on here.
Yeah, good.
And then finally, the National Guard shows up. Like those guys. Have we already seen where they? No, Fury hasn't met with the council yet, so they're.
Jesus, are we not that far?
No, we're close to it.
We're really,
We need
really
to
close.
pause, don't we?
Are we at the part where Cap just rescued the people at the bank?
That's where I am. I don't know about you guys.
That sounds like a good place.
Yeah, because it's a 30-minute fight scene. Like you said, we could break these down and we'd be here for another 4 hours on it.
Yeah, that's after the council, though. That's well after the council.
Was it? Was it after they
Isn't
announced the? No, it wasn't after the council yet. We do see the waitress that you guys spoke of, but right after that is the council.
It's the council, right? It's after he gets blasted out of the window, and he does the really cool,
there
like,
it is. Okay,
jumps midair and tucks behind the shield.
And so we see that the council is like, we're going to nuke New York. And I love this about Fury because he is a man of principle. Like we said, he's open to the idea that there are casualties and you're going to lose some people, but he's not the senselessness of it. Like there's other options. He believes in his team and his men and woman on the ground, that he's not going to allow that option to happen. He just turns the screen off. He's like, nope. Beep. So I think that says a lot about Fury as a character. Like, yeah, he's wanting to complete the mission, but he still has moral lines that he's not going to cross.
So who's the actor that is in the big screen in the center of the council?
Oh, let me go back.
I think you'll know who he played, Kyle. Chris probably will, but I know you will because you spent time at me in the Jorge's apartment. Probably watched this movie with us a gajillion times.
Oh God, is this going to be a Young Guns thing?
Yeah, you're getting there.
Isn't that I've got his name off the tip.
The only one I remember watching with you guys over and over and over again was Young Guns. That is.
Yeah. It's a Western, but
Tombstone. It's in Tombstone, right? He was the number 2 in command with the mustache, the black mustache.
He was the number 1.
He was the number 1. That's right. Oh,
I gotta make my screen bigger now because now I can't even see.
God, what was his name? He was the one that Doc fought, wasn't he? No.
That was Ringo.
That was Ringo. This is gonna drive me nuts till I figure it out.
Do you want me to tell you? Or you?
Yeah. No, go ahead and tell me.
Curly Bill Brocious.
That's who it was.
Okay, hold on.
Played by the actor Powers Booth.
Which he just has a great name. It's like
right?
Max. It's like Max Powers.
That's the only. He was great in that movie, but that's why I remember his name.
Dick
Powers Booth. Dick Army. Powers Booth. Max Powers.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. Sorry, I keep coming up.
No. I love that. It's now that you mention it. I mean, you can tell right there. He's just old now.
Right. And he doesn't have the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was in Sin City as a senator.
Who was he in Sin City?
He was a senator.
Yeah.
He's been typecast.
Mm-hmm. You get to be the evil.
He was Raina's dad. He was Raina's dad in Nashville too. The mayor, I think. Well, no, he wasn't the mayor. He was a big businessman. But
in Nashville. See, we only watched one episode of Nashville.
I really love that show. That had really good music.
See, it's country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which would be why I didn't watch it.
Sorry, no BTS.
You know what? If BTS was in it, I would definitely watch it. Don't you judge me.
Hey,
you and your
you like BTS, you can't drive. I mean,
yep.
God dang it. I wasn't ready for that.
I didn't say no. I didn't say no to any of it.
When you're done with this, I'm going to show you a clip of his driving stuff from some of our video game exploits. Oh, you weren't driving. Never mind. You were a passenger.
I wasn't driving.
Yeah.
Oh, when we left you on
You left me
Saturday?
to die. Yeah.
Jason grabbed him. We were playing Friday the 13th, and Jason grabbed him out of the car, and Kyle's like, no, and I'm like, drive the car, damn it.
They left me to die.
We did. So to be fair, he dressed his character like Jay Dangle from Reno 911.
Reno 911. Yeah.
No, literally, he's wearing the Jay Dangle outfit, and it's purple.
Oh, it was hot pink. It was
hot pink.
Yeah, I don't know why Jason kept finding me, but
Wow.
There's a dig
All right,
out
so
of
we
my
leave
rabbit
the
hole of death.
council. Nat's being chased. Hawkeye's narrowing it down. You got to help her out.
Right.
Or he's zeroing in on Loki actually, and then Loki just catches it out of midair.
And just
I like how he
and
got
looks
the,
at him.
and
It's
then-
like, I like the smirk too.
Right, and then the explosion.
yeah,
Yeah,
because he
the
got
smart
one
just-
in on him. Like that was a
Right.
He's like, I caught the arrow, and then I wish you could have seen. I wish you would have shown from Hawkeye's perspective, because I'm sure he was doing the same thing. Like, yeah, motherfucker,
Right.
boom.
Right. And then I know I've said it, but maybe my favorite scene
Yes,
of this entire movie is Loki lands back there at Stark Tower. Hulk shows up. Loki starts to berate him. I will not be both.
Mhm.
And he just starts getting slammed. And then it's puny God.
Yeah, we were watching
Oh, it's so.
that scene right before we got here. My little guy was like, "Is he hurt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's hurt." And like he didn't understand, like Hulk's strong for one, stout floor. But yeah, that's one of the best scenes ever. I laugh so hard every time I
Well,
watch that.
And God, Kyle, I wish you could have been in the theater with us when that scene hit, because I just remember the whole theater just erupting. Like there was laughter, there was clapping, there was hooting and hollering.
I'm always down from
I'm
hooting
fairly
and
certain
hollering.
someone cried somewhere.
Ho
But
downs and
yeah,
hootenannies.
it's just, it was one of those things you had to have been in the theater the first time this hit.
Yeah. I agree.
So, and then I love it when Loki's on the ground and the only thing he can do is go,
Right.
It's the air just escapes his body. Again, Tom Hiddleston is just an amazing actor.
Yeah.
He brought Loki to life.
I know
made it
you don't like
believable.
country music, but there's a movie he's in where he plays Hank Williams called I Saw the Light.
Really
He does
good.
a really, really, really good job.
See, it's
Like
odd
that.
because I'm not a big fan of country, but like there's
I
some
guess-
stuff I really, really like.
I can see him doing a good
like
Hank.
country wise.
Like he just
Yeah, he did. He did a really good
the
job.
look. He's got the look for it. Well, the hair, but
Right.
the Loki hair, but not the short hair. Yeah, I can see him pulling off Hank. What we got? We got more smashes. We got Iron Man doing
So-
the Jonah and the whale.
Now that we look at the whale, that thing looks like a cross between like a some sort of like eel swimming and like a pill bug.
Like a
Just
eel
the-
roly poly.
Yeah. Just like the way that they did the armor on that thing and like how it kind of
Right.
goes from behind to there. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Well, he was telling
Yeah,
Jarvis
I
to
look at more.
find a soft spot for him to hit, and like he couldn't. All the way up to this, so that's fine. He's like, screw him, going through, giving him the business.
Giving him the business. But yeah, so Tony actually took down one single-handedly, which was super impressive.
He found their weakness,
Super impressive.
and
And then
I would say then we see the jets start scrambling, so somebody overrode Fury, because they're like sending in the nukes, and I like seeing we see a pissed off Fury running out with an RPG after It's one of his own men. Has to be. There's not going to be anybody else on there.
Right.
Ready to blow him out of the sky. And so, we know that Fury's got a lot of control and a lot of power over his team. He calls the shots, but that with the council lets you know there's somebody else that has their finger on the button that can still override him, which is kind of a scary thought with the amount of firepower and tech and everything that they have, that he can still, his decisions can still be overridden by basically a politician.
Yep. Which is oddly reminiscent of today's society right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah, they don't.
But that's a topic for another time.
Mm-hmm. So, but the nuke still goes because they scrambled 2 jets, so they had a contingency plan. And this is where they see that the staff is like what they need to get,
the fail safe.
So they kind of comes to terms. He breaks free and remembers that maybe while he was under the spell, he still had enough sense about him. Did he clarify if it happened when he was under Loki's control, or if that was something that happened prior where he built in the failsafe?
Yeah, he said it was even though he was under Loki's control, he still retained enough of himself to build in the failsafe.
Okay.
So it was under Loki's control.
So the nuke gets launched, and you hear a lot about, and even I've brought it up, that Tony redeemed his comments and his actions in the earlier movies and earlier in this movie at the end of the run when Endgame was over. But he actually did it here. Like the end of the run wasn't his first potential ultimate sacrifice. Like when he sees the nuke coming, he grabs the nuke and he's basically going to shoot it right up their wormhole. That, like, he didn't think he was coming back from that. And so, people still talk about Stark's perceived arrogance and all that even after this first Avengers movie, and he does still carry some of that. But this was his first self-sacrifice moment, and could have been the ultimate sacrifice. Could have been his final sacrifice. But
right, what does Cap say that at the beginning? It's like, you're not the guy to.
You're not the. Yeah, you're not.
That's what I kept thinking. It was like, you're not the guy to jump on the grenade, but that's not it. It's
no. You're not the guy to lay down the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. But I mean, it meant the same thing. Like that he wasn't going to be the guy to sacrifice himself for everybody else. And, he proves himself wrong here. And then, like you said, he still keeps a lot of his arrogance and all that stuff just to Tony. But I think we all know that he will pay the ultimate price at any given time, just like any of the Avengers will, to save people.
Yep. So they blow up the mothership, the Chitauri control ship.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Chitauri it's like marionettes, and someone just cut their strings.
And there's something about this scene that always kind of bugged me a little bit. That, like, not the Chitauri falling, but after he goes through the wormhole, he launches it, and then he loses all power, right? So basically he shuts down. Now the portal hole itself, as far as we know, it's just an in and out, right? Like this is the portal, the passage from one world to the next. I didn't understand why he started falling back, because he's in space. Unless that hole had some type of gravitational pull, like his momentum really should have kept him going towards the mothership, but he fell back like he was being pulled by gravity.
Unless because it's a wormhole, the Earth's gravity's pulling him. He wasn't far enough back.
Good bit. I'll call Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'll just text him real quick and ask him how.
Your buddy?
Yeah, my buddy Neil. Neil D. That's what I call him.
Neil D.
Mm-hmm. Old NDP.
Neil D. Oh, NDP. Yeah, no, thanks for now. That's all I'm going to be able to see, you dick. Like, now I'm going to just think, wait, why can he fall? Like, I just enjoyed it for what it was.
Yep, I'm gonna be that guy. I'll be the actually guy.
Actually,
There's probably somebody that's already got a long ass Reddit thread about it, more than likely.
oh, you know there is.
Mhm.
So we see Tony falling back through the wormhole. And, the whole team's looking up, just rooting for him at this point. Like, come on, Stark, come on. And Steve gives the command to close it. And I almost called her the witch. The widow touches the staff to the Tesseract and closes it. But then all of a sudden you see Tony in free fall. Just, he made it. Whoa, surprise. Did any of us call that? But he's just in free fall. And next thing you know, Thor's winding his hammer to go get him. And then there is a big save by Hulk. Grabs him out of midair, going down the building, holding on, and then, shields him from the fall. But then the part I love this is Hulk, starting to get up and just kind of throws him off. After all that, he just get off. They're looking at Tony, and the arc reactor is not lit up at all. They pull off the face mask, and for all intents and purposes, Tony's dead at this point. Mm-hmm. Like B-Rob was saying, made the ultimate sacrifice. And then another classic Marvel moment, Hulk roars at Stark and brings him back. So that's just pure Marvel right there. And another Marvel moment when Stark's just rambling on, is like, no one kissed me.
Is this when he brought up the shawarma?
Yep. He said, I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is it?
He's like, don't
even know what it is.
Don't come in tomorrow. Take a day. Isn't it like I've never had it. Like, I've always wanted to try it ever since I heard it in this.
Is it the meat cone thing that you? Yeah, here it is. You just shave it off it's like the big spinning column of meat
off the spit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lamb or mutton?
Right, but you can also make gyros out of that though.
Right.
So shawarma, it describes.
Is it the meat itself?
Way there, it's whatever the end product is.
Oh, okay. That's like could be made of lamb or mutton. I've had goat, so that's pretty good. So I can see.
Yeah,
I'd be down for this. Be down for some shawarma.
Goat is good.
Goat is amazing. Goat is freaking amazing.
Goat is good. Now I'm looking up shawarma here in town. Next thing you know, we see Loki laying there, and he's groaning, and he's doing this, slow crawl. And does he hear something at this point, or is it one of those where he senses someone watching him? I kind of think he sensed someone watching him.
Yeah, I think he just kind of turned, and then
it's kind of like when you're trying to go home and then you turn around and you see Kyle following you. It's kind of the same thing. It's kind of still that creeper vibe you're getting.
Yeah, but you usually don't see me.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's how you get chained to a radiator.
Oh.
And Predator.
And that reminds me of a skit from The Whitest Kids You Know. If you remember that show. So And then I love this part. It's just the whole team together, and Hawkeye just draws his bow real slowly.
Mhm.
And Loki just kind of, it's all the same to you. I'll kind of looks defeated. I'll have that drink now.
After that, when they do the cut to the they do the cut to like all the TV screens and the newsreels and stuff running. Since I rewatched it earlier, I've been racking my brain to try to think like what that reminded me of, because I know I've seen it before in another movie, and then you talking about getting chained to something, it clicked it for me. Immediately, it reminds me so much. Yeah, just follow me here. It goes.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And apparently so are your victims.
No. Well, but that's beside the point. What it reminded me of was the end of Boondock Saints, when like they're in, like the same thing. They're like interviewing all the people, and they're like, we need as much. So the being chained to something, that's why that brought that, because he was chained to the toilet and they pulled the thing up. But
I was
good call. It is exactly like the end of that movie.
It's like almost like not scene for scene, but it is so much like it, because you see, people dressing up like them, chanting in the streets. Yeah, we need them. No, we don't need them. And like, that's exactly how they ended Boondock was,
right.
The people, it wasn't as clean and well shot as this.
Right.
But
it's also a lot older.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot older.
Such a great movie.
Still one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mm-hmm. It's a great movie.
Know the name of that fucking cat.
So they're scrolling through all these
what
TVs.
What color was it?
They're scrolling through all these TV scenes. And
there's the senator.
Then all of a sudden,
you always have the senator that's going to stand up against the superhero crisis, or the mutant crisis, or the Irish brothers fighting crime crisis, or whatever crisis is at hand. Like, there's always the politician sticking his nose in.
The Irish brothers fighting crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're so close. We're so close.
I really like that though. And then till this hit, I didn't realize it, but we have our Stan Lee appearance. And I didn't realize it till I saw this, not right now, but when I saw it the first time, we hadn't seen Stan Lee up until then.
Yeah.
So there's his appearance. And, the next thing you know, we see Thor taking Loki to the Bifrost, to the symbol, to take him away for Asgardian justice. And there's our council again. And they give Fury, they're asking, where is the Tesseract? Was it the Tesseract or the staff? It was the Tesseract, wasn't it?
Tesseract.
Yeah.
And they said it's out of our reach, and you see him handing it to Thor. So, and we all know what happens, to the Tesseract after that, because it's kept real safe in Asgard.
Mm-hmm. Or the safest place you could keep it, really.
And, just everyone's just kind of going their separate ways at this point, and Fury's telling them, we'll need them. And he's just looking out over the bridge. And then I don't know, here's another Easter egg. Tony's rolling out the mat with the plans for the tower. But if you look at the little cards, it has the symbol of each one of the Avengers, like the shield for Cap, the hammer for Thor, which means he plans on each member having their own room. They're all staying there. Like he's going to make this a long-term thing. There's your Easter egg.
I didn't catch that. Sure enough.
And,
like a superhero Hilton.
That's what it is, except way better.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he and Pepper just, you know, being a couple at this point, and it slowly zooms out. And the only thing left from Stark is the Avengers A, is the A from Stark. And what was great about that is I remember sitting in the theater and going, that is the Avengers A. And it was literally staring at us the entire movie.
Time.
Like just out in the open. They didn't even try and hide it. So, and I mean, because, you know, there's some rumors that they're possibly in Phase 4 going to turn the Avengers Tower, since it's unused, into Four Freedoms Plaza. So, you know, how much truth there is to that, I don't know. It's just internet rumors right now. But it would be cool if they did it.
Well, yeah, how good we are with our theories.
But you know what? We have fun doing them.
We do, dude. I absolutely love doing them.
So
it wouldn't be that hard to turn the A into a 4.
No, not at all. And I mean, Reed Richards could use unstable molecules to do it. Next thing you know, it's there. We're in space, and saying, we hear this, you know, humans, they're not the cowering wretches we were promised. And it's the like the little priest of the Chitauri that we've seen throughout the entire movie.
The other
is that what they call it? Yeah,
that's his name.
Oh, really? Is that his name? I didn't know that. So his name is actually the other.
Yeah, he's never.
That's what the movies reference him as.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I don't think they ever address
that,
but if you're like half deaf like
that's
me,
what he's called.
You watch everything with subtitles, you catch a lot of things that you don't normally.
Right.
I like everything.
So, and then
with
they say they're unruly and therefore cannot be ruled. And, you know, we're getting closer to this asteroid, and we see it's the same place that they were talking earlier, but we couldn't see it as clear. And we see this hand go down, and immediately we see the back of this helmet and this shoulder pads go up. And I remember thinking immediately, that's Thanos. That's Thanos. That's Thanos. And then the other, you know, has his head bowed, and he says to challenge them is to court death, which is a super clever play on words, because this is another Easter egg. Because Thanos is the Mad Titan, or the god of, calls himself pretty much the god of death. He actually did court death in the comics.
Obsessed with Lady Death.
Obsessed with her, because she actually in the comics has a physical embodiment, like a physical body. And yeah, he's just, is it even obsessed, or is it like it? This, I think this is beyond obsession.
Yeah.
But he did court death in the comics. And then you see that turn, and then just that smile. And I just remembered thinking, holy shit, the possibilities.
Right.
The possibilities of what's going to happen at this point.
Yeah, and I had no idea that was coming. I mean,
I didn't.
That was amazing. Yeah, it was an amazing reveal, and yeah.
So,
I had no comic background going into that, so I had to do a lot of Googling and searching and stuff.
You think it was Grimace from Ronald, and where was Ronald McDonald?
You know, I could see that.
Grimace. So, true story. My first job when I was 16 was McDonald's. And it was the old-fashioned one, the nostalgia one, and here in town. And we just had fun. It was the worst job, but it was the best job because the people I worked with. I met some really good friends there. And I remember I was one of my buddies who actually listens to this podcast. He was on break, and I remember convincing people in the drive-thru that he's a bigger fella. And I remember convincing people that he played Grimace on the TV shows. So I had him signing bags and he'd sign them like "Follow Your Dreams," Grimace, and I got him to go off lunch, and he would hand them out, and people would go nuts, and he's like, "Yeah." And to this day, we still love telling that story because he signed the bags "Follow Your Dreams."
That's awesome.
So we tricked some little kids and some older kids and people. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of Phase 1.
There was one more credit scene that we didn't hit.
Which part? Oh, yeah. Okay, go over that.
Well, I was going to let B-Rob do that because he had the shirt.
Oh, yeah. Where it cuts to them eating some shawarma. And they're all just wore the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
And not doing...
No,
not saying a word.
Yeah, just enjoying the shawarma.
That's just another nod there because I find that scene, like, it cracks me up. It's so funny with doing so little. And that's still throwing those nods to Marvel's timing and humor and stuff, to how they can make things funny with just the littlest thing, you know, and with the setup earlier, and then they're just sitting there like normal people who like shawarma.
B-Rob, there's one place near us, you and I, called Shawarma Shack.
Let's go try it out.
I know there's actually a couple shawarma places here.
I
I really want to try it out now because I've never had it.
I've had it like at Epcot, but you know.
I make my way up there. We'll have a shawarma date.
Right. I'll wear my shirt.
Mm-hmm. You better. I highly expect you to wear your shirt.
All right. So now that we're done, I said I was going to do this, and I know we don't have probably a whole lot of time, but I said I was going to ask you what your favorite scene from each movie was.
That's true. You did. From Phase 1?
From Phase 1. So starting with Iron Man. What was your favorite scene? Doesn't have to be like the best. It's just what was
your favorite scene? Go ahead, Kyle. Or do you need a minute?
Probably mine was when Tony was just like, he was having the press conference, and let's see, that was one, right? Yeah, that was one. He was having the press conference, and he was just like tired, and all he wanted was a burger, and he tells like everybody to just like sit down.
Yeah, that's right when he got
right
back.
At the beginning. Yeah,
that
was right when he got out of the limo.
Yep. When he's like I just, for some reason I got so much that I like, but that's the first thing that popped in my mind, so that's what I'm going to go with. Was just him just chilling, eating a burger, and like leveling with everybody. But the way the crowd react, like all the reporters and stuff, they're just like cautiously sitting down. That I don't know why that one stuck with me. It did. There's got to be a reason, but yeah, that one stuck with me.
Right.
So my favorite scene was when he was first Iron Man and they were recording him, and he shot the tank with the little teeny tiny missile, and then just the slow turn and just the walking away with the explosion in the background. Like, to me, that's just a very, very iconic scene.
Right. So
that was mine. What about you?
Mine is when he's hugging the belly of the fighter jet. When they think he's a bogey, and like Rhodey's calling him, and you know, and they're going through that whole little back and forth. Okay, it's me. Yeah, it's me. You're right. So I feel like, I don't know what, but that's one of my favorite scenes.
Resonates with you.
It just resonates with me. So, all right. So the next, it's Incredible Hulk.
Kyle, do you need a minute on this one?
Well, Hulk, we've talked about it. It just wasn't super memorable for me, so I'm just going to go with any scene with Liv Tyler because I love her.
Good call, sir. Good
my
call.
whole heart. Liv, I know you're listening.
Agreed.
Just, you know where to find me.
Kyle is single.
You know where to find me, Liv.
So my favorite scene is the opening scene in, where is it, Brazil, where they're at? The whole flight scene, because it's just the introduction, and it was just so complex with everything that they had going on, and it was just one continuous shot. So I really liked that.
Mine is the end fight scene between him and Abomination. The final fight scene where he ends up putting him in chains and all that, hanging him
Yeah.
up and everything. That was a really good fight scene. That really it was two just total powerhouses just slugging it out.
Right there for you. So that's what you
Yeah.
loved.
Yeah.
All right. Iron Man 2.
Are we starting with me or?
Yep. Go
Yeah.
same order.
I liked the scene when they were on the racetrack, and like I think I told you guys about this. Like the reason that movie sticks
Yeah.
with me is because it was one I watched with my grandpa, and I really like Mickey Rourke in this movie for whatever reason. The visual of his character is really cool to me, and so that may be coming from not having the comic background. I know you guys said there's some stuff that just didn't mesh well. But me
Right.
coming in fresh to it, I love the look of his character. But when they're on the racetrack and he's just like slinging shit around, and like was that the first time they confronted each other? It was on the racetrack. I think so. That
The briefcase.
When he had his whiplash.
yeah, when he had the
actual-
whiplash stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that scene.
So mine is the end fight scene with War Machine. I just love War Machine. Always have. And then like when they were doing the circle around when all those enemies were going after him. And you see it going around, and you see Rhodey with the Gatling gun on his shoulder, just hitting everything, and they're just fighting back to back. I just really liked that scene.
Both those are really good scenes. Mine's Scarlet when she's beating up 13 to Happy's one.
Yeah. Which is a great scene.
Yeah.
I would say that's a close second for me. Thor.
Thor, I've got two that stick out in my mind, and they're not like super specific. It was Plainclothes Thor. I really like because it just kind of detracted from the whole superhero thing, in him trying to like figure out, Midgard, trying to figure out Earth, in this place he is, but in the other one, which is like a stark contrast to this, when I don't remember when it was in the movie, but you seen like all of Asgard and it lit up. I think it was at night, and I just remember how awesome the effects looked and how like pretty it looked. It's the best way I can describe it. Like the Asgard just looked amazingly beautiful, lit up at night.
So I really liked. I'm actually in between two because I liked the fight scene with the Destroyer with the Warriors 3. I just thought that was, I like the Warriors 3. But I don't know why this stands out to me. It was when Thor was hungry and was eating the pancakes. Just because he was plain clothes Thor. And he's like, what are these? And it's Jane being Jane, Eric being Eric, Darcy being Darcy in this. I think it was just the interaction for me that just really made it a really, really memorable scene for me.
Yeah, and I had two, but my first one is the end scene there when he sacrifices himself for his friends and becomes worthy. And then Jane, the first time Jane sees him in all his get up, she's like, that's a good look. Mm-hmm. But that whole when he totally redeemed himself there at the end and got Meow Meow and his armor back. And then the other one is the original Jotunheim fight when I hated him because he was putting all of his friends at peril because he was an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But that made me hate him. And like we had talked about, how the hell are they going to do this movie where I know they're going to do it somehow, but am I truly going to buy into the redemption? Yep. And yeah, they totally did. So that's those two.
I forgot all about Darcy calling it Meow Meow. And
Meow Meow.
That's probably up there too, just because it's Darcy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we love
huge
Darcy.
cat. Yeah, we love Cat Dennings.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Cap.
And you have your own cat.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America: The First Avenger.
That one's easy for me.
This one's gonna be. This one's going to be really hard for B-Rob.
Yeah, just to pick one for him. Mine was when he jumped on the grenade before he was full on Cap, when he was still just wee little Steve, when he jumped on that grenade without missing a beat. That going back, like I've made it pretty. I was like, Cap was probably the first Captain America movie was probably one of my least favorite movies going up to it, and then I went back and watched it again, and it shifted up the ranks quite a bit with my subsequent viewings, and especially this last one. And then that scene is the one that really sticks with me. I love that scene. Just showing where his actual, his power is after he becomes super soldier, but his
power is not being a super soldier.
But it's not. Yeah, it's all derived from a good place. He would, if he was still little Steve, he would still be trying to do the same stuff that he's doing in the Avengers.
I'll go with the grenade scene too, and because this is where you first see, what's her name? Haley Atwell, like her character falling for him too.
Right.
It's just a wholesome scene. I really like it. I'll go with that.
That's a very good one. So again, I think I got two, but my number one is the first real match square off between Cap and Red Skull
in the bunker
after he saved Bucky.
Okay,
they're up on the catwalk.
Yep.
It is just such an iconic rivalry, and it was good, bad. Just man, this is, if I could have envisioned it and wrote it myself, that was just a perfect first time seeing that. And then the other one would be what you guys were saying, is jumping on the grenade. I mean, that's Cap.
Honestly, I'd tell you my second below that would be the flagpole scene.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
The flagpole scene's good.
Just shows how smart Cap is.
I like the Red Skull reveal too, though. When you get to see his face, and that's kind of like a bittersweet, good scene for me, because, like you guys said, they could have done a lot more with him, and I feel like there was so much more that could have been. Just like I said, coming in as the movie guy, solely the movie guy into that, I wanted more of him, because he just visually a freaking cool looking character.
Yeah. Of course, I would also go with Peggy Carter walking into the bar in the red dress too.
Also,
right.
a very
think about
visually
the
cool
watch.
Scene. Yeah. The watch.
The watch. That's a very good scene too.
Where she's watching the film and she sees her picture.
And she sees it. Tommy Lee kind of looks at her, and she's just
she's giddy.
Yeah.
All right, now the most recent, the Avengers.
This one's hard, because there's a lot of really cool scenes in this. I mean, there's the Loki Hulk scene, which that's probably going to get it for me just because of the laughs. There's, Cap, getting the reference. This movie, even though it's probably like the most action-packed movie out of all of them, I think all my favorite scenes are like the funny scenes. The ones that make me laugh. So it's hard to choose either between Hulk Loki or Cap getting the reference, or Coulson's little subtle, talking about his cards being in mint condition.
Right.
And like between those three, I'll probably have to take Hulk Loki though, because that's the good belly laugh one.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the whole 30-minute fight scene, because that is a scene.
You gonna take that as one scene?
I'm going to take that as one scene, because it's hard for me. It's really hard to narrow anything from that. Like, I mean, yes, there's always, I think everyone's going to say at some point, Hulk versus Loki. That's such an iconic scene. That's such a great scene. Mm-hmm. But I just love how they did the dynamic. They did the fight scene. They did.
So you're talking about the Battle of New York scene?
The Battle of New York scene.
Okay.
Yeah. I really liked every single thing that they did with that. Like, once that happened, I mean, that just cemented that movie for me.
Right.
Just just, nail in the coffin. I'm done. What about you, sir?
Like you said, I think the Hulk Loki is obviously the first one I think of, but then I also think of the initial square off between Thor, Cap, and Iron Man
In the
in
woods.
the kind of forest. I think that was a really good one. And then we also had earlier talked about the first really team up circle, where I was just waiting for Avengers Assemble and then go.
Yeah.
But it was just, you see ScarJo load up, and then Hulk roar, and Hulk, Cap strap the shield. I mean, they're all suiting up. They're all ready to go.
Suiting
and
up
I
together.
thought that was a really that was a very iconic scene.
Right.
So
that
was fun.
It was fun. What are you reading or watching this week?
I am continuing to get pissed off with every chapter I read of Ready Player One. Very angry. Hulk smash.
Such a good book.
And then it's very good, but I'm so glad I'm reading it after watching the movie.
His kids are gonna walk in the room and he's going B-Rob smash, and he's just gonna be throwing the book down on the ground.
That book made me research, try to see if there was a term or anything, because a lot of the references in that movie were from like early 80s to mid 80s. Like there's a lot of stuff in there that was before, even though it feels like it should have been within our time. It was like we were like 5 or 6, right? Or we were like super young for that. But it made me feel nostalgic for a time period that I didn't fully experience. And so I was trying to see, like, is there a term for that? Is there something, but damn it, that's a good book.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so I'm still plowing through that when I get time. And then watching, I'm halfway through last season of Flash. So I'm still trying to finish the last season of Flash.
You're still trying to power through that.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to get through that. So
how is that? How is the last season? I heard it was kind of
yeah, it's okay. I don't think I feel like some people did that it really has gone downhill. Not to name any names of certain listeners. That felt like the show just continually went down, like Arrow and all them. I feel like it's kind of maintained. There's always like 2 or 3 episodes that are just so much better than all the other ones.
Sure.
But I continue to enjoy it. So
as long as you're enjoying it, that's all that matters.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I think that it's interesting for them to do characters that I'm not familiar with, or weren't really a thing.
You're not talking about. Go ahead.
And it's really cool to see what they're doing with Frost. I continually like to see that arc that they're making with her character. So
yeah. Well, Killer Frost is such a complex character anyway.
Right.
So, Kyle, what are you reading or watching?
I'm still on my X-Men saga trek. I've been trying to finish Dark Phoenix for like 4 days, and my kids won't let me. Like I get going, and
to be fair, even if you're watching that by yourself, trying to struggle through Dark Phoenix is probably like 4 or 5 days by itself.
Yeah,
your kids are trying to save you.
Yeah.
But
they're trying to save your immortal soul.
I'm this far, like this close to my completionist of that. Like I made no qualms about it. I'm terrible about starting something and not finishing the series or finishing the run. Like I'm going to do this, which I still have. What is it? New Mutants, or
New Mutantes?
Yeah.
New Mutants is amazing.
After this, so like I want to get this knocked out and then get to that. And then now after hearing you guys talk about it and Facebook and internet ads just berating it in my face, I'm going to try to probably start watching The Boys, maybe this week or next. So, but I've been watching a lot of Every Man's Guide to Nerdom playback. I've been editing 8-hour-long episodes.
And before we get to you, Chris, I got to ask this question because I've been meaning to ask it. So, okay, because I can't remember for the life of me. So there's the Runaways TV show.
Right.
Wasn't there a movie very similar to that where the kids get powers, are put in camps,
Yes, there was.
And I cannot for the life of me remember what the name of that movie is.
That movie was called.
It's been driving me nuts for 2 weeks now. And even when I type random shit into the computer, it doesn't come up with I know what the answer is.
Well, and it wasn't an official Marvel.
Right. But it was very
Marvel
similar to the Runaways.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
Give me some help, Discord.
If you guys can remember, let us know. It'll hit me eventually.
Okay. Yeah, it's
I
driving
know what
me
you're
nuts.
talking about. I know what you're talking about. It was probably mid 2000s came out.
I was thinking
No, it would
like
be more
20.
like
Yeah, like the
Late.
10s.
yeah.
It's not the Darkest Minds, is it? I'm scrolling through here looking.
I think that's what you're thinking about. They're separated by colors. There's oranges.
Yes, that's
there's
exactly what it is.
Reds were the destruction. Good one, Kyle.
I'll use my Google Foos. I don't know the movie.
Oh, did you?
I just searched
because
for
it's-
kids with superpowers in camps movie.
It's based off of the book series.
Box office bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a box office bomb, but I liked it.
Yeah, no, I did too. I just could not for the life of me remember.
Yeah, Darkest Minds, because they were the kids were separated. Like the Reds were the explosion ones. Orange, I think, manipulated. I think that was like minds. Blue was like emotions, maybe, or telekinesis.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And I just remember Rue from the Hunger Games was on it.
Yep, she was the main character.
Yeah, that's what I just couldn't for the life of me.
Yeah.
Good
I
one,
don't know
Kyle.
why I didn't search that, but nice work, Kyle. Yeah, it's been driving me nuts.
Good with the Google Foos.
Okay. Chris, what are you reading or watching?
So I am in the middle of rereading Vision Quest. So I found my old copy of Vision Quest, rereading that. And then we are having getting ready for a third watch of Raya and the Last Dragon.
Only 3?
Only 3. Oh, you got to
We're
remember.
on 18.
You're on
We're on
18. So, because we have to watch it in parts, you know, as much as
Neva's already decided that that's what she is for Halloween, and I get to be Chief Benjamin.
You get to be Ba.
Yep.
That's awesome. So I bought the Target has an exclusive only little set where Raya can actually ride Tuk Tuk and
nice.
all this. And then I had to go back today after work because she wanted a dragon. So I got the dragon for her, and then the human form doll. So B-Rob, I remember texted me saying this movie's awesome. Like, and then I can't remember if you put it on Facebook or Discord or somewhere, or you texted it to me, somewhere.
I put it on Facebook.
He said, this is the movie we need right now. And he is exactly right. This is what 2021 needs. It's a movie about hope and trust. And that's something we are sorely lacking right now.
Right.
And it is just, I remember like my boss at work's like, before it even came out, it's like, it's going to be terrible. It got terrible reviews. Heard the cinematography is amazing. No, it's a great story. The voice acting's on point. Kelly Marie Tran got Disney redemption.
For sure. She got the hose just to get redemption.
Yes. And the whole cast, basically the whole cast is Asian. They made a South Asian movie with an Asian cast. There's like 2 people that are white in it. One of those is Tuk Tuk.
Alan, it amazes me how he gets all those. He does all the voices for things like that.
Well, he and D. Bradley Baker, who was Appa and Momo and Avatar. Yeah. But yeah, those guys are really good. But yeah, D. Bradley always gets that stuff.
And the other part of that post is I said, this movie is what you need. Is you also need to watch Ted Lasso on Apple TV for just a feel good movie. Jason Sudeikis, American football coach who gets hired to go coach soccer in Europe. And she's just so positive. He's the most positive person. And it's just a really good feel good show.
And that's the kind of shows we need right now. So Good recommendation, sir. It's I was super excited to watch it. Oh,
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
and then we
amazing.
watched also, what is it? Ulysses and
Flora and Ulysses,
oh my god, that movie was amazing.
right?
If you
That
all
little
haven't
girl did
watched it,
such a good job.
she did a great job. Everyone in that movie, the little boy killed me. Like I laughed so hard this entire movie. And it's based off of a book.
I really hope hysterical blindness isn't a thing because I may get it someday.
It's when he fell over. His superpower is amazing. So if you haven't watched it, if you want to watch something fun with your kids, that's just a great movie and it'll make you smile the whole time, watch that. Great movie.
Yeah.
So B-Rob, what did you learn this week?
Man, I learned again, I think I've said it before, but it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to take time for yourself. It's okay to just, again, just I can't say it. Just take that time for yourself. You get so involved with the things you volunteer for, coaching, your family, work, and just other obligations that you just get wrapped up in it, and it's okay. And so it's so easy to just feel bad about that kind of thing, but it is so important to take 15 minutes for a run, take 15 minutes to read a book, whatever it is. Be selfish. It's okay, because especially now in this time and everything we've gone through in the last year, it's so important mental health wise to do that.
Very nice, sir. Kyle.
Kind of two things. I'll do the more, well, I guess it's kind of serious. I don't know, I'm smart ass with both of them. I have learned that everyone on Facebook is a economic expert, apparently. The state of the world and the economy and prices of things and whatever. Probably all senators. It physically drains me. And I'm not picking one side or the other, because both sides of whatever, and that's what wears me out, is that there's two sides, and there shouldn't be two sides. That I have to make myself like not look at things because it wears me out. Like it just drains me. So I guess I'm learning not to do that. And then kind of had to force myself, because I've got a fear of heights, right? Like I don't like being off the ground, period. And this nice little wind we've got last few days of 40, 50 mile an hour winds blew some of my gutters off my house. So I learned that I can get up on that ladder and fix the shit that I need to, because I had to. I needed to. I had to get it done, but one of those kind of facing your fears things. I hated it. I still don't want to be up on the ladder if I don't absolutely have to be, but it's just one of those things that had to be done, and did it. But yeah, still sucked. Being up on a ladder on the edge of the house with the wind blowing, and my only backup was a 5-year-old telling me not to fall. So thanks to the reassurance, little guy.
Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing good. Don't fall, Dada. Good tip. Good tip.
Chris, what'd you learn this week?
I learned apparently it's okay to do whatever you need to win a fight, including biting a child. I bit a kid once. I relearned how much I love my tushy, and not my butt, but my tushy bidet. When I really had to go at work and I missed it. Like I got physically sad.
Oh, I thought you meant like you missed the toilet.
No, I didn't miss the toilet. No, I didn't miss the toilet. I just got sad. Like
clean up aisle 3.
Yeah.
Dollar party of 10.
Is your work shitter different dimensions than your home one that you?
No, it's just you get so used to it. Like it's such a great invention, and the Tushy's like the best one that we've had.
Like hold everything on home court advantage, like you
First world problems.
It really is first world problems,
more
but like
shots
I
at
found
home.
myself getting sad, physically sad. But it's amazing. And Tushy, you really need to sponsor us. I will promote your product left and right, your shit left and right, literally.
Literally.
Literally. If you all don't have a bidet, you are missing out. I said it. I'll say it 1,000 times. You are missing out. It is a game changer, especially with a squatty potty.
Oh, you like the double threat there.
I got the perfect posture.
You're
So yeah,
high class shitting.
It's getting real.
I'm smooth. So, well, B-Rob, thank you so much for sticking it out with us through 85 episodes of Phase 1 at 268 hours of recording. So thank you so much. We love having you on the show. You bring a lot to it. So thank you very much.
I appreciate it, guys. It's been an awesome outlet. I've really enjoyed it. I look forward to taking a little bit of time off, and then you guys asking me to come back for something that I know probably even less about.
I learned a lot from you on this, because this run is really not my strong suit, and so hearing you two go back and forth about the comic lore and things, and I'm just amazed at how well you can remember movies from way back when. Yeah, I've learned a lot from hearing you two guys bounce stuff off each other, and which has made me want to go and research and read and rewatch and do more. So yeah, thank you for that.
Well, I promise I will be underperforming at anything after this.
Well, so, good. We look forward to your
this was kind of my jam. So I appreciate
you
it.
on.
Well, and the reason we kind of hurried this last one too, just so you all know, is B-Rob's. You're coaching, aren't you? Or are you just helping?
Yeah. So I coach her, and then I assistant coach with him.
So he has baseball starting. It's spring.
Right.
I played baseball, it's time consuming. It's extremely time consuming, and he's got 2 of them, and we'll see you in 2022, sir.
Yeah, more power to you there, buddy.
So no, but you just give me a holler whenever you get done and you want to come back. We will think about
just keep me up to date when you guys know that, if you do pro wrestling or you want to do sports.
We have a list of like 85 show ideas.
I know.
So
I feel like you should do about 30 that don't involve anything that I'm not on, and then then I'll get back in, because I feel like people are just like, oh Jesus, are they ever going to get this guy off of here? Are they ever going to stop talking about the Avengers Phase 1?
Oh no, we are now.
Yeah, we're done with that now.
Yeah, we're done.
We're down now.
Right.
We're done.
Mm-hmm.
As well as you guys did WandaVision, I'm really excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier for those nerkies, if you decide to do that.
Oh, we are, and it's next week. We're taking a nerky week off because
right.
I don't want to get started on another nerky series when Falcon and the Winter Soldier's literally a week away.
Right. You guys did such a good job on that.
Thank you. Everyone but
brought up some really good
Justin.
points.
Yeah, except for Justin and his beautiful hair.
Because so if he's not listening to our podcast, he's never going to hear this. So
true. We can say whatever we want about him.
That's right, you beautiful bastard. So, thank you all so much for sticking it out with us for Phase 1. We'll start Phase 2, but I think we need to change to some other topics first. So our next topic will be with props. We're going to be recording this. Well, it may not be Sunday. I get my second shot, the COVID shot, on Saturday. So I might be good to go 24 hours later. I might not be. So we'll, Kyle and I will talk about that, but we're going to be doing a cosplay / prop building podcast with Mr. James Props, Blasted Props. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah. So with that, thank you all again for listening to us. I'm Chris,
and I'm Kyle, and thanks again, B-Rob, for being part of this ride. You guys have a great night, day, or whatever it is where you're listening, and be good to each other.
And go watch all the stuff that we do.
Yeah.
And we're out.
Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word. MCs shied away from belief. Rest assured.